going to have to act if we want to live in a different world. We are going to have to act.
There is a very unstable situation on the ground that is unfolding very quickly.
Move toward more ideas that will actually help bring this thing to an end.
We are going to have to act. We are going to have to act.
There is a very unstable situation on the ground that is unfolding very quickly.
So the DLC is actually,
Oh, the DLC is actually like totally fine. Like it's
yeah, it's totally fine. It's better than the main game because
Yeah, it was developed by people in the
it was
span of
developed
like
by Borderlands team with that engine.
yeah. It's just a game that someone made in the Duke Nukem Forever engine, but it was made by people who weren't, locked inside a closet somewhere in Texas.
So I guess that's the weird thing about it, Gino, is that you get to see the best possible game that this could have been.
Great.
I'll give you $1 if you do it.
Sending a raid to.
Hello.
Thanks, everyone. Hi. sucked. I hated that.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, what were you expecting?
So I'm going to go ahead and say this, Gino. When I mentioned that this is a potential one, I said, if your goal is to have a bad time, there's always Duke Nukem Forever.
It's time for a good time. As soon as the Elgato decides to refresh.
Yeah.
There we go.
Duke Nukem Forever is not a good time and never will be a good time. Is it a strong bad game on your Wii screen?
Yes. Because I did the system transfer from my Wii to my Wii U, so everything that shows up on that Wii screen is what I had on my Wii.
Yeah, I've actually lost some things that I had on my Wii because I had them on an SD card that died.
I mean, now I can't re-download anything I deleted, so, you know.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, I think I might just...
But also, all that shit's on
So,
Nintendo Switch Online.
so here's the thing: a Wii U, absurdly easy to soft mod. So you get a Wii U and a hard drive, soft mod it, and then suddenly you could put all the Wii and all the
The
Wii
GameCube
games.
games.
Yeah, but can't you do that with, like, a Wii as well?
Yeah, but the Wii U is easier.
Wii U spits out 1080p HDMI.
It's true, I don't need to use my RetroTink for this Wii U.
What if you did anyways?
It wouldn't do anything.
What if you put a scale line filter on it?
Also,
And
the Wii U doesn't support component cables, so...
that's true. Yeah, whatever.
Alright, so, hi, it's me, your bro Zale. And I'm
Yeah.
here to
How are you
say...
doing, Zale?
Hi, guys, it's me, your bro Zale. I'm here to tell you my cool little tale about me and a princess who I tried to woo.
I gotta dip and figure out what the show's gonna be
have been digging
this week.
Yeah. Apologies. My life is on fire right now.
It's fine. I'll figure that out. Duke Nukem Forever makes me mad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk to
sorry.
y'all later.
I love you.
Take care.
Don't worry, you finished a third of it.
Yay!
33% of it's done.
That's not even a joke.
Callista's room is that way.
That's not even a joke.
Through here are the guest rooms and the ballroom.
The other 2/3 are way
Lady
worse.
Callista went to her room.
No.
looking very...
No, I disagree. The beginning part is probably the most boring part. The end isn't great, but it's not as bad as the beginning. The middle part has that one bit that's alright.
See, I don't remember any specific sequences other than there's that bit where you go to the western town.
Yeah, it's basically them just saying, hey, remember all those magazines that covered this game in 1997 that showed Western Town? This is it.
She's not been kidnapped. No, don't be stupid. Callista's not in her room.
It is very funny that if
Where'd
you
she
look
get
at the
to?
DLC for Duke Nukem Forever, the DLC's got positive reviews. And you go to the actual game.
Callista?
It's the best possible game they could
Callista?
probably have made out of that.
Yeah, I'm to understand the DLC is a lot better because it was clearly made years later by more talented people.
Mhm.
But I don't know, I think just the baseline shooting in that game is miserable.
Yep, I have played 12.7 hours of Duke Nukem Forever.
That is twice as much as I have played.
I did play a bunch of the multiplayer when it came out. The multiplayer was actually totally whatever.
Wait,
It's fine.
Callista!
Good, but it wasn't the worst. Part of me was just trying to relive those old days
have
where
a
I was like,
heart-to-heart
the
with my
shrimp
lady.
Callista? Thank you. They declared me innocent because of
Who's
you.
there?
What up,
Go
gamers?
ahead.
Hey, Harley.
You were
I
protected.
see you've decided to show up after Duke Nukem Forever
That's
has
why you
left
didn't tell them
the
the truth.
building.
right?
I was out to dinner with Daisy and Em because it's Daisy's birthday.
So
Happy birthday,
Ooh,
Daisy.
Happy
There
birthday
you
to
go,
Daisy.
and happy birthday to Daisy.
I
Woot
overheard you
woot.
talking to my uncle.
Daisy, the boys say happy birthday.
Please, you have to
Happy
refuse
birthday.
his offer.
What did you guys have for dinner?
What?
We went to Texas Roadhouse.
Hell yeah.
Is
Get
it the
some
place with the
Texas
peanuts on the
Roadhouse,
floor?
and then
Yeah.
that's the one that has the peanut on the floor, right?
It would all
I
be
mean,
okay.
you
I
get
wouldn't
given
still marry
peanuts,
Jarrell.
but they really
You don't
don't want you to
understand.
throw them on the floor anymore.
Oh, what the fuck? When when did that happen?
I don't think I've been to a
When
Texas
did
Roadhouse for
communists
like
win?
12 years.
But my uncle
When did
Jarrell
I don't know.
always find out.
Sometime in the last year, actually, because this year was the first year
So many
where they
people
gave us
hurt
peanuts and a
because
bucket,
of me.
presumably
That is
for.
communism.
Listen to me, Zale. I might not
Trying to
have a
tell us how to
clue
live
about
our
the
lives?
outside world, but I
Yeah,
know this
presumably
world a lot
for
better
putting the
than you
peanut
do.
shells in.
It's not some fairy tale.
I remember
world
when you
of
could just
knights
throw
and
'em on the
princesses
fucking
like in the
floor.
stories.
Damn it.
People
Yeah,
cheat
and that sounds
and
terrible,
murder for
and
their
I
own
hate
gain.
it.
You know what I'm talking
Batting an
about.
eyelid. There is no freedom here, only treachery and deceit. I don't want you to live in a world like that.
So what then? You'll just marry Jarrell. You're okay with that?
Of course not. I just can't let you get caught up in this too.
She's like, I don't want you to play the power games. Because her uncle's like, hey kid, if you swear absolute loyalty to me and use your cool hand power for me, maybe I'll let you marry my niece.
How do you feel about my niece?
Apparently they're putting Seth Rogen into Call of Duty
Of course they are.
Mm-hmm.
as himself.
Why not? Why not? They put in weirder shit, right?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Everyone. Eventually, they'll just put all the Canadians in. Actually, I don't think he's Canadian. I think he's Canadian adjacent because he was on a bunch of Canadian television shows at the start of his career.
What, you're telling me the guy with one arm and one eye might not be
He's
a good
evil.
guy? The world will be mine. Ha 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 ha. Anyway.
I've tricked you all. Does Gino still have that lizard?
I forget.
I should have asked that question while he was still here.
Yeah, why didn't you?
I didn't think about it. For some reason, I thought of lizards.
That's a skill issue, right?
Yeah, it is a skill issue. That's true.
The Count.
Keeping such a big place clean is no easy task. There's no time for nattering. Shape up.
No time for nattering. okay. I have maxed out bananas.
Bananas. Biscuits and bananas.
No one says that anymore.
Yeah. I do when I'm trying to annoy my nieces and nephews when I go, I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to oat.
I ain't doing shit with no bonono.
With no what?
No bonono.
I ain't doing shit with no bonono.
How is audio mix, by the way?
Hey, wasn't there like a story once about like someone kidnapping, or I don't know if kidnapping's the right word, someone like stole the bananas and pajamas costumes or some shit?
That sounds like something someone would do. That it is Australian after all.
That's true. Nation of criminals.
Did you know that it's almost winter over there?
Yeah.
That's madness.
Like a whole different atmosphere.
Yeah,
they're on the wrong
It's
hemisphere.
like they're upside down.
I hear their toilets catch on fire when you flush them.
Oh, that's just when you use them.
Yeah.
Like your face.
Oh, look how much I can get for selling these almonds. And these shark fins. What am I gonna do with this money? I don't know.
Spend it on bananas.
I already have maxed out bananas. Hold on, I'll be back in a sec. I need to...
Spend it on an
bananas.
upgrade so
Spend it
you
on
can
bananas.
get more bananas.
Yeah. Increase your banana stack. If I didn't say it, ZP would have.
What? Throat goat the bananas. What?
How are you all doing this fine Tuesday?
I'm okay. I'm thinking about what video game I want to play.
While watching people play video games, I'm sitting here casting spells over and over again in Oblivion to get my skills to 100.
Oh,
So-
I don't know if you know. Is it in the
If you use
original
cheat
Oblivion
engine.
or the?
It's Oblivion
Is-
Remastered.
In the remastered version, they changed the system for how XP works for spells. So you actually do get more XP now for casting more powerful spells.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm finding the
Okay.
most powerful spell I can cast, and then just standing here in the middle of Shaden Hall, or Coral, sorry, casting over and over again. I have managed to get Illusion, Restoration, and Alteration up to 100.
Nice. I think Destruction is still the hardest. Because I'm pretty
Probably.
sure for Destruction, you still have to be hitting something for it to count.
Yeah, everything else, well, you can just conjure like a Zivali or something and cast whatever on it. Everything else has a at least one spell that you can cast on yourself. And since that's always effective, just stand there and cast it.
Yep.
Also I have enchanted every piece of my light armor with shield. And I have hit the armor cap, so
Nice.
I've basically won the game. The only time I have gotten close to dying since is when a boulder landed on my head.
That'll do it.
And I didn't die, I just
Grab-
got close.
gravity voice. Never forget, no matter how powerful you are, I'm always watching.
But I've also hit the skill cap for security and mercantile. And I'm fairly close for blade, but it's taking forever. No matter how much I seem to kill with swords, it's taking forever to actually level up blade, which is probably working as intended, but it's annoying. Because I kind of want to finish that and then start using blunt weapons. Anyway, Oblivion's a good game. Surprise.
It's a good game. Surprise.
I still think I still like Skyrim more, but Oblivion's pretty good. Also, all of the achievements in this one are basically just finish all the guilds in the main quest. So I'll probably wind up getting all those.
Ooh. I eat too much steak. I didn't even get a steak and I ate too much steak.
What were your sides?
I had mac and cheese and chili.
Oh yeah, you had mac and cheese. Person of culture right here, Harley.
And chili.
Chili? Ooh.
Yeah.
I usually want at least one potato-based side when I'm eating steak.
Get them beans in.
So what? Not to like push you on the issue. What are the prices on steak these days?
Shit.
In this economy.
At Texas Roadhouse, or in general? Because at Texas Roadhouse, you could pick up a.
So it's still a good amount of food for the price.
It's a crazy amount of food for the price.
Some things never die, right?
Like, I think. Okay, let's see. I got a half rack of ribs and a bit of barbecue chicken with my two sides, and that was like $22, I think.
Yeah.
M got an 8-ounce New York strip, and I think the 8-ounce New York strip was like 20.
Hello, I'm back.
And Daisy got a 16-ounce ribeye.
Hell yeah, she did.
That's the right choice.
What was that?
Ribeye's great.
Oh no, it was also a New York strip.
Damn it.
I do like New York though.
I don't mind a New York strip.
How much was yours, Daisy?
So what you're saying is, reputationally, Texas Roadhouse is still giving you a shit ton of food for a decent price.
Yeah.
All right, so good to hear.
I slipped on this woman's lemons, not a euphemism.
The real kicker is there was no wait this time. last year when we went, we had like an hour and a half wait time.
Damn.
This year, because Daisy's birthday was on a Tuesday, the wait was like 5 minutes. But also, there was still a wait time on a Tuesday, so Texas Roadhouse got to be doing something right.
Texas Roadhouse is always...
I feel like Texas Roadhouse is one of those, like, they're like a better version of, like, Applebee's, right?
All right,
I feel like
time
you're
for
pumping
a
up Applebee's
side
there.
quest.
Well, okay, here's the thing, actually, is Applebee's and Texas Roadhouse, I actually don't think are comparable, because...
This one is lunch. For me, Applebee's is lunch.
Well, it's not that one is lunch, it's that one is a steakhouse and one is a family restaurant that happens to sell steak. It's completely
Like Applebee's
different.
is the place you go to if the local sports bar is full and you want to watch the game.
Yeah,
at
it's
the bar.
completely different vibe. Plus, Applebee's menu has like a lot more variety on it. Texas Roadhouse really just
I think
has
that
like.
in terms of when I was talking about Applebee's, I more or less meant like the American food places that just pride themselves in giving you a lot of food.
Very big portion sizes.
Okay, yeah, that's
And then
fair.
also not promising like, I wouldn't say, okay, so this is the difference, is like Applebee's promises you, we're going to give you the exact kind of food that we always give you.
Consistency?
Like there's a consistency to Applebee's the same way there is a consistency to, say, Olive Garden.
I think Justin died.
It ate Justin.
I mean, Olive Garden exists so you can eat as much salad as you want.
And breadsticks.
It's the
Also, Olive Garden doesn't exist in Canada, so.
Olive Garden is bad.
Sure is.
Counterpoint to Olive Garden being bad.
Their salads are totally fine.
I like to go there specifically so I can be reminded that other kinds of pasta exist, so I can learn how to cook those instead of just making spaghetti for the 50th time.
Why aren't you not going to Spaghetti Factory for that purpose?
Well, Harley...
What on God's green earth is a spaghetti factory?
But next you're going to say go to Noodles, and anyone who says go to Noodles, they're
maybe
wrong.
this is a West Coast thing. How about Cheesecake Factory?
What?
No.
I've lived on the West Coast most of my life. I've never heard of a spaghetti factory before.
This might be a Bay Area thing.
I am aware of the Spaghetti Factory.
I've never heard of. I mean, I've heard of a Cheesecake Factory, but also, Cheesecake Factory is about cheesecake.
No, it's
And
not.
and
oh my
the
god,
other,
no, it's not.
And
That
the
is
other
factually incorrect.
And the other 200 items that are on their menu.
Hey now, Harley, they dropped like 3 items this year.
We actually read that news article together on stream, and they actually added items to the menu. So the number of items that they added on top of the ones that they removed, it came to just a removal of 3 items.
That's crazy.
Because
Daisy actually got a gift card to Cheesecake Factory from their coworkers today. So who knows? Maybe in the future, I'll know someone who's personally been in a Cheesecake Factory, and
Sorry, go ahead.
And I can give you an accurate count of how many items are in a Connecticut Cheesecake Factory's menu.
So as I had a friend who worked in a cheesecake factory, and the way that it was explained to me is the reason why it's actually not that big of a deal to have that many things on everything in their kitchen are spare parts that overlap with multiple dishes.
It's in my room.
Cheesecake Factory is catnip for all white people. Loam life.
I have yet to meet a white person that didn't like Cheesecake Factory.
My bed, you tossed it over there, and then forgot.
Me, I don't like Cheesecake Factory.
I mean...
Well, you're Canadian. You're not actually...
We're not
What?
going to make that joke.
Whoa.
Oh, you're not going to make the other joke? Perhaps some lady in Wisconsin made?
He's as American as anyone else on this
51st
continent.
state, sure, yeah. I guess you're right.
I mean,
I was more just thinking it's the North American continent.
Yeah.
But
not about it. Not a states joke. Just we all live in the same
continent called America.
Yeah.
That is one of the funnier things, actually. So recently, I guess, like, there was some city in Ontario that was like, we need to rename America Street because the Americans. And it's like, dude, do you know where you are right now? You're in North America. Shut the fuck up.
I think if America goes through with renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, Canada should rename North America North Canada.
So here's the issue with that.
Or South Canada.
The only issue with like renaming streets is that you actually have to pay to rename the streets.
No, not the street. The entire continent.
Yeah, you could rename a continent. All that does is change the maps. It doesn't matter.
Listen. Given that India and Pakistan are currently shooting at each other over lines on a map, that's a thing that matters.
Yeah, I guess.
We'll call the
actually
whole
know
continent.
That.
We'll call it Greater
That's
Canada.
not good news.
Yeah,
It's really
no.
cute when they had map disputes and it led to things like weird dances at the border.
Yeah. Hey, guess what?
Then they started killing each other.
What if two nuclear-armed powers who fucking hate each other decided to play another game of chicken? It's very exciting.
What's the plot to Metal Gear Rising?
No, it's the plot to what is currently happening in India and Pakistan in the Kashmir province. So, you know. Mondays, am I right?
I hate Mondays.
You know, Garfield's right. Like, Mondays suck, dude.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's totally Tuesday.
Hey, everybody, it's
really?
Tuesday.
No, don't. Brayden, don't.
Horace, it's you.
Oh, Master Zale. It's good to see you again, but please don't scare me like that.
So you managed to escape from the dungeon in the end?
Shh! Quiet! They'll get us in trouble. Besides, I didn't escape. I was released. The court ruled that there was insufficient evidence for a conviction.
Oh, I see. That's good to hear. Though I'm not sure that's something you should sound so proud about.
Yes, but I still don't know what in the world I should
What's wrong with
do.
this dude's face?
He's a merchant.
What's wrong with his face?
Is there something wrong?
What's wrong with your
There
face?
certainly is. It's my wife. She's still missing.
Your wife?
You don't have to sound quite so surprised.
Do you have any idea where she might be?
As a matter of fact, I do. I did a lot of asking around. That's why I made up my mind to but I was no match for the creatures inside.
So that's what happened.
Yes. It's wonderful that I've been Thank you so...
Alright, let's do this side quest. Help this guy get his wife. Wife guy.
He lost his wife?
Yeah.
Like, physically lost her, or she left him?
We'll find out. Oh, this is the Haunted Mansion level.
Oh, cool. Every game's gotta have one, right?
The mansion towered sentinel-like over its visitors. A deathly silence loomed in the air, and not a soul could be seen.
Boy, this disk drive is so loud.
A stench of blood emanating from the mansion, as if a beast
Remember disk
already
drives?
had them in its jaws.
Yeah.
With an icy chill moving down their spines.
Until last year, I still had one on my computer.
Yeah. Sure.
I still have that computer too. It's just, in a basement now. Running a file server.
We're here.
Let's give you I'm going to assume there's going to be undead, so give you the undead.
That's a good assumption.
Give me Memento Jagger.
Do we really have to break into this mansion? There has to be a better way. So are you... It won't open.
What was... May I have a look? There's a knack to these doors. Aha! It's open. I'm coming, Meredith.
And you can just upgrade on the go. Upgrade on the go. Let's get you this magic dagger.
I've noticed this, but does everyone just do that pose?
Yeah, a little bit.
Meredith must be in here somewhere.
See, this game came out the same year as Duke Nukem Forever.
Well, this game looks better.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just a better video.
It is. You've been playing it.
Oi, don't just close the door. Well, it wasn't me. It's like it closed on its own.
We're gonna record a podcast on it this weekend.
No dice. Looks like
Although,
we're trapped in here.
I guess it sounds like we need to figure out a podcast to record tomorrow.
Huh? What's that?
We could record a podcast on Hit, CRPG, Owlcat's Rogue Trader.
I haven't played enough Rogue Trader. I only beat Act 1 of that game.
No way.
Well, if you start now and you don't go to bed, you'll get about a third of the way through it in time to record something.
With caution. You're right, Yurik. Fine. Just a few scratches.
We already did a filler episode 2 weeks ago.
I'm budgeted to do 2 podcasts this weekend. I'm gonna need the main pod to figure something out.
Oh my god, the ghost, they got Dagran.
What if you just forced M and Harley to watch more Lost?
Yeah, Harley M should watch
gonna
Lost.
get done in that
M
easy.
already brought it up, and
He says be careful.
I
He's the first to get done in.
simply do
Master
not
Dagran.
have
This place really sends
The capacity right now.
yeah. Although I have been thinking about maybe
This mansion is not normal.
I can't believe it's really
Em and I
happening.
could do something for Breaking Bad,
sure
because
you
that
don't
is
know
what
anything
we've been
about this
watching
place?
recently.
Wait. It is just
What are these scratches?
Is
here's
Lost
my
too
take.
much?
Here's my idea. My idea is still we just have everyone watch the 6 episodes that Cooley Cooley consists of.
Wait! Don't eat me! I taste terrible! There's a girl I know! She's some real prime beef! Damn it, lol! One more down.
I have no
Is that
problem.
like 3 hours?
Where
Yeah,
could they
it's like
have
3
possibly
hours.
disappeared to?
I don't have a problem with Lost. I just season 2 just really failed
The others
to
trapped
grip
in
my
here.
attention.
That's what happened with my dad when he started rewatching Lost. Is
It's here!
That
see
season 2 isn't great. Also, that last season isn't great.
I know what it is!
when they start doing the Island Experiment stuff, or
It
the
doesn't look like the last
Island
one.
Has Experiment
The
stuff,
other one was definitely black.
Who cares if the...
don't get me wrong. I'm probably gonna go back to Lost at some point, but I just don't think I can.
It lost you? What are you saying?
It lost me. Yeah.
Spit it out!
However, I did think of a way we
People in
could.
the city say this place is, cursed. Many have entered.
I did
but
come up with
none
a
have
way
returned.
that we could keep the
Maybe you
name
should
of
have
the
mentioned that
show,
small
Lost in
detail.
the Sauce,
I'm sorry.
with an
I
and
thought it was
pivot to
just a
Breaking
silly
Bad. You know,
rumor.
we just we
Left
make it
in
so
the
that
meth?
I mean,
no, so
whoever
it's still
heard of a
Lost in the
man-eating
Sauce,
mansion?
but instead of being a
Mansion?
instead of that being a lost pun, it's the
Yurick,
core premise of the
let's just
show.
find Dagran
We
and
just do the podcast on whichever
The sooner we
show
find them, the
we
sooner
are
we leave.
currently lost in the sauce with.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then when we get
Enough
bored,
with the
we
facts.
move to the next show. And if
I'm
we
just glad you weren't
ever
gonna say like we watched Lost in Space.
What is this?
We watched Lost in Space, the bad movie. With Tim
Master
Curry.
Zale! Oh, at
What?
this rate, we'll
Tim
be
Curry's in
right
that?
too.
No,
I
it's
like that
isn't it
movie.
Gary Oldman?
Oh fuck, you're right. God damn it.
first off, I like that movie.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Second off, if we were gonna do Lost in Space, we would do all of it.
Yeah, do the original show.
We would do the original show, and
The
then
original show
the
not very
movie,
good.
and then the movie, and then the new show.
So here is my
Wonder
And
what
then
Richard-
we'd have to do a special episode on the 7 freaks on the internet that want to bone the robot from the new show.
So here is
Wanna bone the
my
robot?
official
Why?
like take is if you were a TV writer. Oh god, it got Horace.
Oh no.
If you are a television writer and you have a character say the phrase "Danger, Will Robinson," you deserve to be drawn and quartered. If you are writing television in this current decade, that's my take.
Not Horace
I think
too.
it's really funny
Guys.
that they still made the robot say that in the new show, when the robot in the new show is very largely mute.
It's a reference. You have to. It's a reboot, Harley. You have to.
Well, yeah,
You have
I
to
know
say the
it's
thing
a-
that people know.
I know it's a reboot, and so you gotta include the line, but like it's one of like 4 things the robot says in the
Man-eating
entire fucking show.
Gives me the creeps.
That machine has no lines and exclusively communicates through like
The door.
Saying the
flashing
words
lights.
Danger, Will Robinson.
No, it doesn't talk
Something's
like
pulling from the
ever
other
at
side.
all. It communicates through flashing lights and body language, except for like twice. And one of those times is when he says "Danger, Will Robinson."
Coffee.
I feel like I've seen that show because, you know, Canada, when it made the Space Channel, was like, all we got is Lost in Space. Here,
Lucky
want to
me.
watch some Lost in Space? Do you?
I do not.
Well, too bad, because it's on for 3 hours straight.
I don't want to watch.
Wait,
And then we'll show a
wait.
single
I don't want
episode
to
of
watch
Star
any
Trek.
television shows from the '60s or their
The
2020s reboots.
Hold on. Are you talking about the new one or the old one?
Oh, the old one.
I'm talking about the new one.
I'm not watching Lost in Space. I know what that shit's about. It's Gilligan's Isle, but in space.
It's
It's a whole lot of them being on a planet and not finding a way to get off the planet.
They actually get off the planet.
Oh, that's
in the
bullshit.
new one. In the new one. No, see, here's the thing. In the new one, they get lost in space 5 times.
what if I just watched The Expanse finally?
Like, at the end of every season, they finally get off whatever planet they're on and immediately fuck it up.
There's more than one season of that show?
Yeah, there's like 3
Yeah,
or
it's a
4
Netflix
seasons.
show, so it gets canceled after the second season.
Again, there's like 3 or
Horace,
4 seasons.
You're alive.
It's
I
one of
didn't even know
the
that
few,
show existed until like 3 days ago.
it's one of the few Netflix shows that did well enough that they
Not
actually
bad.
gave it
Old
more than
Black
2
Bones
seasons.
must be off partying with the other skeletons.
Which puts it with such vaunted company as
You're
Netflix's Castlevania
I'm fine.
and
I just think American.
You can't think of another one, can you?
I can't actually. I can't think of another
I just
show.
think American Vandal deserved another season, even though I thought that second season was not as good as the first.
What other shows did Netflix make that had more than 1 season?
Fuller House had like 8.
Was
Don't
Fuller
worry.
House a Netflix? Was Fuller House a Netflix show, or
Yeah,
was it a show that Netflix picked up?
No, it was a Netflix. It was the. It
was
was
one of
like
those things where they saw
the
a lot of people
second
watching
big
Full House.
Netflix reboot after
Reboots? I'm
yeah,
trying to think of the
after
reboot they did.
well, revival after
Did they revive? I don't know if revive is the right word. Did they drag the corpse of Arrested Development across the finish line?
God, that 5th season, I
Caught me off guard.
that 4th season's real bad.
Yeah.
Um.
And even when they re-edited it, it's still bad.
Oh, I guess yeah.
You know,
Orange is
this
the new
right
black.
Here, I
is-
just want to talk about this right here. What we're doing right now. This could be a podcast.
Yeah.
Could be, but I didn't say anything racy yet.
I mean, I can get the Craig bot.
I know, just calm
Butthole.
I can get the Craig bot in here, and then
Yeah,
just give
this
him the file
Wednesday-
and say, turn this into something.
This Wednesday's episode is 4 dick bags.
Just keep calm,
Yeah.
Harris.
Some Canadian starts complaining, and everyone's just like, what's this?"
Hi there. Well, I'm saying if you want, I can summon
Yeah,
the
no, fuck it. Get the Craig bot.
Summon
in
the
here.
Craig
summon
bot.
the Craig bot and be like, here's audio if you need something.
Get the fucking Craig bot in
Just
here. We're
4
talking
people talking randomly about the things that they're not actually doing.
about Netflix. About
Yeah, what is your favorite Netflix fucking bullshit show?
Now recording.
hey,
Jesus Christ!
hey, Craig bot.
Hello,
I hate
good
the way that
people, and
sounds.
welcome to another episode of Off the Deep End, a Deep Listens podcast where we cover role-playing video games in depth. I'm your host, Braden Arbitrary Water Redacted, and I'm with some chuckleheads. I'm streaming the last story, but we're not ready to
Talk about that yet.
talk about it yet.
I'm Harley. You might know me from Off the Deep End's Lost in the Sauce. Today, I'm on Not That Show.
Yeah.
Making up shows.
Josh, dude, we can do this. We're professionals. This is
Yeah.
a professional production from professional people talking about random shit. I think this is the first time, in theory, in concept, that we've had Canadian. Canadian, introduce yourself.
I've actually technically been here before on like a
Yeah, you
different
did
show.
those endurance run episodes that no one listened to.
Been here the whole
Wow.
time.
Yeah. You can call me
Actually,
Jay. I'm
I
Canadian.
cut that part. I don't think we can do that. He's been here the whole time, but I think Sam Wright might have that copyright.
Sam Wright.
So we were.
Have you
first
never heard of
topic
Dropout?
is-
The fucking game changer guy.
Yeah. Dropout is like all of the ex-college humor people.
Except they're not owned by some sort of.
Except they're
corporate
not
overlord
owned
that
by a
just says,
corporation, they're
"Here's the
self-owned,
mines."
and they have a subscription.
Sounds like something that would be enticing.
Yeah.
It would be. It's actually there's thousands of hours of content for the low price of $5.99 a month.
Well, aren't they raising that price?
Yeah, it's $6.99.
Oh. I know,
We're not getting sponsored by them, by the way. This is a free plug.
listen, my biggest exposure to Dropout is, when, Demi, what's his name? I don't remember how to pronounce his last name. Demi does the Spider-Man should say the N-word bit.
Sorry, what?
Right, back on
It's a
track.
very funny clip.
All right.
What is it,
well,
Zale?
I'll take your word for it.
There's a
I've
ghost
never
child!
Seen any dropout.
They can't see him.
There's a
And-
ghost child in this video game.
Anyway, yeah, I'm still.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's certainly
we're,
better than Ghost Dad.
we're here today. We're talking about our favorite Netflix nonsense.
Yeah.
To start with, whether or not Lost in Space, the new show, is a good show or not. I think it is. But,
I think it's fine. I just think that, like, you've already talked about it, Harley, that
There's a
they
keyhole.
really don't do enough with that
Let's find the
robot,
keys, Ale.
even though it's a kind of interesting character.
I just, yeah, the robot in Netflix's Lost in Space is a fascinating character that they completely waste because he has 4 lines of dialogue in the entire show, and otherwise mostly just wanders around and points at stuff, like Legolas in Lord of the Rings. If Legolas were made out of titanium.
I don't know, Legolas shoots that bow. That's pretty important.
Does the robot ever fight anything? I've never seen it.
It does, actually. It has it actually has an entirely different body shape for when it fights. It's like arms and legs split apart into like a weird, almost spidery form, and it shoots lasers out of a set of hands.
So wait, is this robot a transformer?
Yes.
More than meets the eye.
Its combat mode is actually what the robots look like, and its person-shaped mode is it mimicking Will after Will befriends
Gotta
it.
get them back.
Well,
I
Rogers.
can't go on until everyone's here.
Does it actually look like the old robot, or is it a completely new design?
Completely new design. They did not.
Oh yeah, this
make
looks like
the-
a Power Ranger.
This looks like a Power Ranger.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like a Power Ranger.
Power Rangers. I'm just gonna say 90s era or television intro songs for my bit on this thing. So happy.
Is
You're
that
just
your
gonna
bit
start
now?
yelling songs. Is that where we're at now? You're just gonna be like, "Yo, go go Power Rangers!"
Go Power Rangers.
All right, quick, recite the song to Masked Rider, a show no one remembers.
No, I can't.
I'll give you a hint. It's just them saying Masked Rider while drums go off in the background.
What's a Netflix show that you guys feel like you really like, but you hear no one talk about? I feel like everyone has like one of those.
I mean, I'm a fan of like procedural, like crime drama bullshit. So I think it was like a show with Tony Danza in it called The Good Cop, I think, or some shit like that. Let me look to see that I'm talking about the right thing here.
I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed The Good Cop, although I'm pretty sure it got canceled in 1 season.
True Netflix
Specifically a Netflix show. I only ever hear people talk about the Netflix Castlevania shows to complain about them, and I think the people who do that complaining are very loud and very opinionated and incredibly fucking wrong.
Those shows are fine.
Like,
I mean, they do what they exist.
They have made their like 5 seasons of that Netflix Castlevania show. If you count the Richter one.
Technically 6.
Okay.
If you count the Richter one, because the Richter one got its 2nd season.
Is this where I slowly realize there's a bunch of Netflix shows that have like 10 seasons that I've never seen?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Castlevania technically has 2 shows. It's got Castlevania, and then it's got Castlevania Nocturne, which is a sequel show with an entirely different cast. That's a big ass fucking fish, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure there's context to that.
Yeah, not important context. But Castlevania itself, I would say, kind of has 2 seasons split up into 4 seasons. There's the We're Going to Kill Dracula season, which is seasons 1 and 2. And then there's the we're picking up the pieces after Dracula died, and that's seasons 3 and 4. But because shows have to be 8 episodes or shorter nowadays, they couldn't just
Key with an insignia.
Finish out the story.
There's an American Dad bit where they start a podcast and it's just them naming things. That's what the chat says.
Yeah. That sounds like something American Dad would do.
Oh, American
Does
Dad's
still,
not that terrible.
does that show still exist?
Yeah.
The only one of those, like the Cleveland show got canceled, but no, Family Guy and American Dad are still.
Let's truck them along, eh?
Now we're getting the main.
To talk about like Netflix shows now, I'm kind of like thinking about this topic, like Netflix shows that I like that I feel like no one talks about, especially shows that got canceled after one season. You know that I'm not. So like I'm a softie, right? I think One Day, the British romance drama show, pretty cool, or at least not cool. It's a good show. It has a girl by the name of Vika Maud as Emma, and Leah Wall as a kid named Dexter. The whole premise is the fact that the two of them met at a graduation like event in college, and they've been in a relationship for 15 years. And it's 30-year-old people trying to come to terms with, oh, we're not 20-year-olds anymore. What do we do?
Yeah, as it turns out, that's something everyone has to deal with eventually, you know?
Yeah.
But, that's the type of show that I would see that I'd be like, yeah, I'm not watching this because I don't want to deal with that shit right now. Even though I've technically already dealt with that shit in my life, so it is what it is. So is this another show that only got one season?
It got 14 episodes. It sounds like they only wanted to do 14 episodes because it was based on.
Okay, so they did the story of the book and then just ended. That's always nice when a show does that, you know?
At some point, I will watch that Scott Pilgrim thing that Science Saru did.
Oh yeah,
that Scott Pilgrim thing fucked pretty hard.
The black skeleton.
I think it's cool that it's its own thing when they could have really just, you know, redid Scott Pilgrim again.
I agree. It's cool it's its own thing. I actually really love that it's its own thing because it means that there's now officially 3 canons for Scott Pilgrim. There's the comic books, there's the live action movie, which was made before the final graphic novel was released. So its ending is completely different to the comic books. And now there's the anime, which is also completely different to the other 2 Scott Pilgrims.
Oh, not again.
There's a whole Scott Pilgrim fucking
back in the courtyard.
multiverse.
Might be trapped inside. Why won't it open?
We just need a 4th Scott Pilgrim to have all the Scott Pilgrims.
A 4th Scott Pilgrim has hit the building.
We need a 4th Scott Pilgrim to bring the other 3 Scott Pilgrims together so that we can have the ultimate showdown of the Scott Pilgrims.
Scott Pilgrim versus the multiverse. The
Scott
time is
Pilgrim
now.
Oh, that just writes itself, doesn't it?
Multiverse.
What was Edgar Wright's last movie? Was it Baby Driver?
Baby Driver was pretty good.
But yeah, well, other than who the main character is played by, but you know, that was something that came out after that movie. But no, has Edgar Wright done a movie since Baby Driver?
At the risk of
apparently yes.
At the risk of sounding like a plebeian, what did the what's up with the dude who did the main character of Baby Driver?
He's a sexist.
Horace, you're alive.
Oh right, he did a movie called The Last Night in Soho.
Thank you.
Yeah, and apparently he's involved in the new Running Man.
Yeah, the new Running Man movie. That's.
You think that's like a movie that they could pull off nowadays? I guess it could.
Because the problem with making a new Running Man is you just make the Hunger Games.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't
Do you
think
make it
people
serious?
realize that having the guy that did Family Feud be the host of the Running Man was like some of the most genius stunt casting ever in that first movie.
Okay, but hear me out. Stanley Tucci. That's all.
Stanley Tucci.
That's
Stanley Tucci.
Horace?
The ultimate character actor.
He's in the Hunger Games. Stanley Tucci is the guy with the ridiculous wig going ha ha. But yeah, Stanley Tucci is.
Oh, the pompous dude. Got it.
Stanley Tucci and Paul Giamatti need to have a fight over who is the greater character actor.
All right.
That's my take.
I'll save you.
You know, on the topic of like weird things Netflix is involved in.
Yeah.
I heard there's a new Karate Kid coming out. Is
Yes.
Netflix involved in that, or is that just a thing
No.
that's happening?
So it is a follow-up from Cobra Kai, and also the Jackie Chan, Jaden Smith Karate Kid movie.
It's uniting the canons.
Yeah, bringing it all together.
Because that's what people want.
A
Right?
skeleton?
I mean, people still like
People
Jackie
love
Chan.
Cobra Kai. I will say that it's the one show off of Netflix's television exclusive, like Netflix TV's exclusive programming that people claim for so like.
No, it's true. But it was supposed to have been killed.
I've never actually watched Cobra Kai.
I don't have. I don't have.
It's very hokey.
What are you talking about?
That's all
Wait,
I know.
is it not on Netflix for you?
I thought it was YouTube.
YouTube.
I mean, it's on Netflix on Canada. Maybe that's like just a Canadian-only thing where they decided we'll get Cobra Kai here.
Nebolus is immortal.
Maybe.
But there should be a way
It's
to
a
destroy
YouTube
him.
TV exclusive.
Get on with it.
All right,
What do you
well,
do?
let me tell you about this thing called the internet.
We're not making a date. Zay,
I don't trust
retreat for now.
Is that where
Yeah,
I
I
can
don't
get my
trust that.
hentai on demand?
No.
That's a different website. That's not Netflix.
Yeah, no. There are other places for that if you want that.
Netflix got rid of Queen's Blade a long time ago.
BoJack is Netflix's most popular original show. That's what the chat is saying to me. Man, BoJack is good and ended on its own terms.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't watch BoJack just because it's like, man,
It's extremely depressing.
It's too real.
I don't even have depression or anxiety, but this gives me that feeling, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Here's a question: has anyone here watched Tuca and Birdie?
I have not watched Tuca and Birdie, although I
watched Tuca and Birdie.
All right, but you haven't, Harley. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I don't watch television.
What's a TV?
I only just started watching anime again because of the silly podcast I'm on.
Oh. Well, there you go. It's a perfect excuse to watch, anime, is to make a podcast about it.
Yeah.
And you end up watching The Big O and having a good time.
That show's pretty good. Big O, Big O, Big O, Big O. My favorite part about that show was finding out, as I was editing it, that the reason why the version I watched,
We'll surround him and let him have it.
had a different theme song was because Freddie Mercury's estate was like, buddy, that's
can't do this?
you're just doing a Queen song.
Do you think Freddie Mercury would have been cool with it though?
I am not in the place I'm not in a place to be able to tell you what like musical art. There are so many different ways like musical artists who got very big when they were young and can end up.
I mean, Mr. Freddie Mercury did once say that he didn't care what anyone did with his music as long as they didn't make him sound boring.
It's hard to make Freddie Mercury sound boring, that's for sure.
Okay,
but if there's anything I know about, you know, Hollywood, is that they can find a way to do anything.
Yeah, that movie's not very good.
Yeah.
There's no mistake.
Imagine making a Freddie Mercury movie, thinking that
Vampires eat humans to
dance
sustain
around
their
and
life force, right?
hey, kind of like
The ladies, it's a newish show.
He was extremely gay.
They actually danced around that?
Yeah.
So here's the other thing is because he's the one who's not alive anymore. That biopic very much does its best to try and make the other members of Queen look more reasonable.
He's invulnerable again.
Sure.
Zeal. Now's our chance. Immortality makes you this stubborn. Must have eaten tons of people to get this powerful.
I didn't actually watch. I never got a chance to watch the biopic.
You're fine. Like,
Yeah,
if you want to, like, I think most music biopics are bad. And that's why I think Walk Hard is very funny. That's the one with John C. Reilly, where it's just a parody. I mean, hey, Timmy Tim Chalamet does sing all of those Bob Dylan songs himself.
He was very insistent.
And Ed Norton is Woody Guthrie, I think, or no, he's what's his name? Bob Seger.
Immortality makes you this stubborn.
And that's pretty good casting. I just like Edward Norton. I know.
Yeah, Edward Norton's a good actor. I don't even mind Death to Smoochie, even though I know everyone says that movie's ass.
Okay, here's a question.
It's not great.
What do we think?
This is more like it.
I wonder how that movie version of the Scanner Darkly holds up. The one that's all CG rotoscope.
Oh, it does not at all.
And it has a pre-comeback RDJ.
My thing with that movie is I don't necessarily hate the rotoscope. I don't necessarily hate
Oh, he's a little scamp, isn't he?
non-linear story because it's based off of a book that feels like it's a person on methamphetamines and tripping on his balls, which is true. But it's just too much and also too little. I think we're gonna live through this to where, yeah, maybe Blade Runner will be the best adaptation of a Philip K. Dick story.
Nothing to it.
Maybe.
Oh,
Probably.
so you weren't flapping about, screaming like a little girl.
People like that man in the High Castle show.
You've, pissed your pants there.
What?
That's
I don't
the
know if I'm
Amazon
one of
show,
them.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our night in the haunted mansion is over. I don't really know who.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've ever watched that either. There's like a lot of shows that I have access to that I just haven't watched. I kind of just keep falling back to a lot of dumb bullshit.
This mansion.
Hello.
is surrounded by.
Hello.
weird
Hi,
rooms.
Gino.
You're on the podcast, Gino.
welcome
to the
welcome
show.
to our we need to put an audio file out every week
talking about shows that people don't talk about on the Netflix.
But
Caller,
specifically,
go ahead.
we were just talking about the mid-aughts adaptation of A Scanner Darkly, the rotoscoped one.
Ah, yes.
With Ed Norton.
People don't talk about that. That is true.
We don't talk
I
about
have
it
a
because
show.
it's not very good.
I have a show
Yeah,
that people
what's
don't
your
talk
show?
about. Have you heard of the television show that came out on Netflix, the real television show, called The Curious Creations of Christine McConnell?
No.
Never heard of it. It
Yeah, I've
fit
never
the
heard of that.
bill. Tell us more.
All right, what if there was a baking show
Mm-hmm.
that was creepy?
Okay,
Oh.
so like British Bake Off, but a horror?
Oh, this is what you've told me about this one.
What if there was a show where there was a woman who lived in a mansion surrounded by puppets, and she has to bake things for social events and gatherings that she's going to? So, for example, like baking some sort of pot pie because she's having a guest over, and the cast of the show is a woman who's weirdly sexual a decent amount of the time.
Mm-hmm. A sexy
and then-
goth lady, you say?
Yes, a sexy goth lady who's the rest of the cast is a raccoon puppet
Thank you
that is missing a
so much
hand,
for all your help.
a mummified
We really
cat
can't
puppet,
thank you enough for what you did.
and then a large person
Please,
in a
there's no need
fursuit
for all that.
who I think is a werewolf.
I'm just glad everything's all right.
I'll say.
You think is a werewolf. You're not sure.
Unclear.
I won't lie to you.
By the
I
way,
would
Master,
watch this show probably.
I don't know if it's great or terrible.
So how many episodes have you seen?
2.
Are those banknotes all from different countries?
And I was,
Wow.
my ghast was flabbered the
Travellers
whole
put
time.
'em there as a
I
good
couldn't
luck
look away,
charm.
and I
Not
don't
all
know
of
if
'em
that's
do.
because the show is good or bad.
But I'll keep the tavern in business.
So it could be a deer in the headlights
decide what
scenario,
you're
but you
doing
can't
about the
confirm or
council?
deny yet.
Not yet.
I can't, and
Bear in
if
mind,
someone else wants to look and confirm
all have a stake
or
in it.
deny on my
No more
behalf,
waking up
please
every
do.
morning. It works out
The
well
Curious
for
Creations of
Callista.
Christine McConnell.
Yeah.
It is a wild show that it exists, and I watched it.
It seems like a pretty easy decision to make.
Another show
Even if you do
that
swear
exists on Netflix that I don't know
And
if
you
any
get
of
a
y'all
gun.
have watched. Have you watched
If you
Bee
spend
and
too
Puppy
long-
Cat?
Oh yeah, that's based off of the that YouTube short that came out like 15 years ago.
Good to see you.
Yeah, that
I
show's real
recently
weird.
got-
It's good.
Yeah.
It looks, the art style is kind of incredible. It's a real chill vibe, but also it's utter nonsense.
That is another one that I've watched Daisy watch, but never actually watched myself.
It's a
Yeah,
fine
that is a
show.
show that
really care
that I know
about
for
all
a
this.
fact certain
Just let me
people
swing a
would be
sword
really
around and
into
enjoy
it.
the other
I
but
feel like I'm not
I
one of
hate
those
to do it
people,
without.
but
Yes.
you know.
Anyway,
Might not be a you show, but it is for someone.
difficult decision.
Unlike
Yes.
the Curious Creations of Christine McConnell, which might only be for
I
people
doubt
who
any of us will criticize you,
off girls.
no matter what you decide.
And have
Why
y'all
did we have to
already
go
talked
somewhere
about
so-
Centaur World?
Zale.
No.
No, we had not yet.
That's not a
talked
real
about
show.
Centaur World.
It is a real show.
That's
Oh,
a
Zale,
very
you don't
real
have to eat it
sort
right away.
show.
And
Yeah,
don't
it's a
let
real show.
Melania get hurt.
Ow.
She asked
that's
so
a good pick.
nicely.
We did talk
Yeah.
about Toucan
I
animated
tried to
series,
chase
though, but yes.
Damn it all to hell! I've never even touched
Centaur-
Centaur World, I actually did watch some of this, is a delightful little show about a horse trying to escape a cartoon.
Okay.
A horse. So there's a horse in a war-torn, almost like Samurai Jack-esque
Mm-hmm.
war-torn future sort of deal. She's with a rider, and she gets separated from her rider, and falls through a magical portal that takes her to Centaur World, a world where everything is centaurs.
Everything.
Everything. Everything. Worm tars, mole tars, bird tars. everything is centaurs, and they all talk and are whimsical and magical. It very much feels like that time. You know how after Adventure Time came out, like anyone who was doing something like vaguely musical and whimsical just got money.
Well,
yeah,
you know how the
make their thing. That's basically what happened. That seems like how Centaur World
Don't
got
tell me the
greenlit.
reptids do.
It's got a song or two like every episode. It's whimsical and zany,
Horace told
and
me
it is
he
about
needed
this
that.
horse
I'm so sorry
trying to
you
get
keep
back to
getting-
her rider in her home world.
And then it gets real fucked up.
It does. It does all the things.
It pulls that Adventure Time shit where it lures you in with its weird zany premise and then casually starts
killing
the
people.
most like existentially terrifying main villains you've ever seen in a show on you.
Watch where you're going.
Yeah.
So it's like Gravity Falls and like all of the weird shit that Bill Cipher does.
Yes. Kind of. Very, very much in that.
Is that
vein.
like a trope that we had more recently where everyone was just like, yo, we made this show
Yo,
that's
what if this kid's show
whimsical.
was messed up?
Yeah, like let me tell you about Gravity Falls and DuckTales, and I assume Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and what's that other one?
Centaur
Steven
World.
Universe?
She-Ra.
She-Ra.
I mean,
yeah, all of those things. So
I feel
Centaur
like
World is definitely of a piece with those. But there are a couple of things. The centaurs can shoot miniaturized versions of themselves from between their toes.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Can they all do that, or is that just one specific centaur?
I believe they all can.
Just something they were born with?
And when they shoot the tiny miniaturized versions of themselves from between their toes, miniaturized versions are sentient and do feel pain.
Wow.
They always suddenly realize that they are alive and eat it.
That's
a fun visual gag whenever it happens.
that's a good gag. I'm just
There's
watching.
also,
Yeah.
There's a centaur who has the power. She's got a magical power to. She has a portal that goes to some sort of pocket dimension, and she's a
They
kleptomaniac,
will
so she
follow
just
the
steals stuff, and puts
suspicious
stuff in her
man
hole.
To a tavern.
Yeah, put it in your hole.
The
Yep,
Flaming
nope.
That's fun.
Lizard. An unremarkable.
So there's another one.
In a
If someone else has
dark corner
another
of the
different
city.
weird show,
No, I feel like you're just naming off all these shows that I know that I didn't know existed and that potentially I should watch. Like I was gonna say like, yo, Close Enough was pretty good, but that's like a normie show, isn't it?
You know, a show no one ever fucking talks about that I watched all of that I'm sad didn't get a third season.
But
Happy.
Happy was a good show, but isn't that an FX show, not a Netflix show?
The first season I think was an FX show, and then Netflix picked it up for the second season, and then still canceled the third
He's the one
season.
who took that girl.
Yeah, that's what
You
Netflix does.
explain to the dear
So-
listeners what Happy is.
So Happy
You're gonna give
Happy
me
is
a
a
child
buddy
to
cop show where the buddies are
Give
a
her back
50-year-old
before
washed
something
up
bad happens to you.
ex-cop
Quite cocky,
actively dying of
You're out of
12
your league.
simultaneous
No one gets in the way of
heart
this.
attacks and drug overdoses, and the other buddy is that cop's daughter's imaginary friend, Happy the Happycorn.
And the cop is Christopher Maloney of Law & Order SVU fame.
Yeah, sure.
Happy is voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Oh.
And the cop is also, for just no explained reason, also kind of a fucking superhero.
Yeah.
Like he can pull off like feats of insane, superhuman endurance. For again, no well-explained reason.
to be doing
Like
pretty
at
well on
one
your
point, very early on in the show,
Hope you don't mind us
he
not
has to
barging in
escape
anyway.
his own hospital room, and they can't take the stairs because there's some mobsters coming up the stairs, and the elevator's too slow. So he just jumps down an elevator shaft. And he's fine.
It feels kind of like What If Crank.
Uh-huh.
But there was a tiny blue unicorn talking to the main character, and no one else can see.
Okay, you just needed to lead with that.
Yeah, I feel like he would have sold me immediately if he just said that.
Yeah, it's
this
kind
is
of
another
like
show.
Crank, but instead of just Chelios
getting serious.
muttering to himself,
We'll show you
instead there's a
like
little
you
unicorn
never
that
know.
shows up. And yeah, Christopher Maloney is doing drugs a lot.
He looks like the leader.
Doesn't know if the unicorn
If
is
we take
real or
him,
not.
the rest will be
'cause
plain
he's doing
sailing.
so many drugs.
Right,
Yep.
let's get busy.
It's a good show. It's very entertaining.
Are we alright using magic here?
One of the recurring characters in the show is like a fucking holy Satan.
Don't tell me you're
Yeah.
gonna take it.
Yeah.
Who lives inside the mind of an Italian mobster.
Uh-huh.
And he is arguably the main antagonist, and I don't think he ever actually meets the main character.
It's a good show. You should watch Happy. Happy's a good show.
You should watch
yeah.
Happy.
Yeah, okay.
Apparently that is not available in Canada, so I am what you would call SOL.
Again, maybe
The
Sorry, I
only
have this thing
SOL I
called,
care about is the satellite of love.
I'll scout ahead.
Brandon, I
see
don't
what's
feel like
up.
you've brought us a show
Okay.
that you feel
We'll
like
keep watch.
nobody talks about that
Not much point in me
you
going
enjoyed.
upstairs.
Well,
I'm
actually,
tight
you know what?
spaces.
Now's the time.
I said American Vandal.
But no, I was going to say now's the time for you to finally make your push. Defend 100 Girlfriends.
No, that's not on
Is
Netflix.
that on Netflix?
It's on Crunchyroll.
No.
Otherwise, Otherwise, we would have made ZP's mom watch it.
Oh God, my mom does have recommendations, but we also don't have the audio set up for that because
At some point, we will teach your mom how to use Discord, and it will be very bad for all of us.
Yeah, she's just going to be very disappointed.
Discord
in
would
ZP.
be like the end of me. I don't know if I can handle that.
Not that I don't like
and
the
me are on the
idea
other
of ZP's
Let's do
mom hanging out with us, but what is up with y'all and ZP's mom?
She likes
randomly get
anime.
called by her. It used to happen all the time, especially during the pandemic. And
It became a charity stream mainstay.
I see.
It is just because she shows up and then
Says things.
weird things always happen, and it always works out. You know, another show that I feel people don't talk about enough
Yeah.
is Teenage Bounty Hunter.
That's not a real show. You're making
Hey,
that up.
At a certain point, you're making these up, right?
That's a
got
30
one
Rock
season.
bit.
It got one season. It was about some teenagers who are in, I think, like a somewhat conservative family, but are trying to be cool. And they get roped into being bounty hunters because no one would expect them to do it.
Are they from, like, Arkansas?
I want to say Texas.
Okay, close enough.
Wanna
There
say
are parts of Texas that might as well be
I wonder
Arkansas.
how Dagran's faring.
Yeah, so the premise, after denting their father's pickup truck, evangelical high school students and fraternal twins, Sterling and Blair Wesley, fall into bounty hunting for grizzled bounty hunter Bowser Jenkins in order to pay for the truck's repair without their parents' knowledge.
Yeah, okay.
Dagran,
That's a good premise.
found a locked door.
I'm trying to think of something now. Have
It
any
only
of
got
you
10
heard of-
episodes. Can you believe the Teenage Bounty Hunters didn't get a second season?
Oh, word?
So have any of you heard of Archive 81?
Yes, that show's great.
Oh,
That show's
you
great.
know what?
Also,
Actually, I think
a
I have
Netflix
heard
show
of
that
that.
got one season.
Also,
and I feel
one
like not enough
season
people
ends on a
talk about it
cliffhanger, but
enough.
also it's fine because I think it works as a one season.
But
No, Archive 81's really good. It's
Yeah,
got all the. Oh, do you want me to explain the premise?
Sure, go ahead.
So Archive 81 is a show about a guy who he works for the Met, right? Or he works for the National History Museum, and he is a guy who restores and repairs film. And he gets a commission from a shady rich corporation to restore a bunch of tapes.
Maybe I can open it.
That were done by a college student woman in the 90s in this apartment building that burned down. And spooky shit happens. Like, there is perhaps a blending between a similarity between the events that are happening in the present day and the events that happened in the 1990s.
Yeah, I'd probably watch that.
And good. Also,
there might be a little bit of devil worship.
Yeah, so imagine if we would, like, Black Mirror, but more, like, horror. I realize that people like to call Black Mirror horror, but it really is, like, dystopian science fiction. And, like, again, as Braden says, there be devils.
But yeah, it's a combination of like found footage of this woman doing a graduate studies program where she is interviewing all of these people in a apartment building and kind of getting to know the residents, and then the guy restoring that footage who's like, wait, is that my fucking dad in this footage? And then, you know, then it gets creepy.
You all right?
Hello, boys.
It ends on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, it ends on a cliffhanger because it's based on a radio drama / podcast.
Thanks for saving me.
Okay.
So you can find out what happens if you really want, but you know, they had to do things differently because instead of it being this woman recording her tapes, it's videotapes.
Then we're off too.
Yes.
I have another weird show that I don't know if anyone else knows exists.
Well,
You've heard of Agent Elvis?
Oh. This is the one with McConaughey, right?
Yes, this is Matthew McConaughey as Elvis Presley in a show about Elvis moonlighting as a spy for the U.S. government.
Was this a cartoon?
It was, yes. It was created by Priscilla Presley.
What the hell?
Yeah, I've seen this.
Ex-wife of Elvis
Crazy
Presley.
black mist.
Yeah, what's going on?
Sure.
Caitlin Olsen's in it. Johnny Knoxville is in it.
Sure.
Don Cheadle is in it.
Oh, Johnny Knox, that's a name I've not heard in a long, long time.
Hi.
Probably for good reason.
Darkness can be destroyed with fire. I've got this.
Yeah, it seems like he had issues with the rights and he's actually
Yeah, no, it seemed... Hey, guess what? Maybe Jackass was bad for his health.
I would say yes. I'm pretty sure it was bad for everyone's health.
I don't know. Bam Margera seems to be doing just fine. That's sarcasm.
Steve-O seems like he's totally turned it around because I think he's now a vegetarian. He doesn't do drugs, and it turns out that the deterioration of his throat wasn't drugs and like smoking or like things that he was doing. He just is like, yeah, you actually just cognitively have trained your brain to think that this is what your voice needs to sound like. We can actually exercise it back to normalcy. Like, wait, doctor, are you telling me that my throat, my voice sucks because I suck? Anyways, so...
I hate it when you hear that.
I mean, isn't that the premise of all vocal training, like for singing and stuff?
Yeah, most vocal training is that. As someone who had a pretty bad speech impediment that was on the decline, but it was always kind of there. That's basically it.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, y'all should be blessed to know me now and not when I was a little kid, because I had a lisp, I had a stutter, I did not always remember to speak the right language. Having grown up in a house where people would speak Spanish and English pretty interchangeably, and then also I had to learn German for the time I lived in Germany.
As one does.
As one
I'm
does.
not trying to think of like weird shit that I
How to
watched
age
on
Elvis?
Netflix. I mean, that definitely seems weird, but like, what about the Santa Clarita diet? Like, that's a weird
the
show.
Santa Clarita that
That's a weird show that got canceled, but boy, is that show goddamn great.
I cannot remember the main actress's name.
That's Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, it's
Drew Barrymore. I love Drew Barrymore as like a person and as an actress. I don't think I've ever seen a project she was attached to that I did not genuinely love. The Santa Clarita diet it really did feel like it was just the whole cast of that show just having a really good time.
With what normally would be like a B-tier plot.
Yeah,
So, those that don't know, it's this couple, they're married, they're real estate agents, and they realize that the wife is becoming a zombie. And it's this like white suburban family trying to cover up the fact that mom's becoming a zombie. It's like, well, okay, we can just say, we'll just put a lot of makeup on you or change it. And it's like, oh, wait, you want to eat human flesh? Shit, what do we do?
Yeah, it's important to note that this is not like a mindless zombie situation. She's very much still a person, but also becoming a zombie has rid her of any and all inhibitions. So she will, in the middle of conversations, if someone bumps into her the wrong way, just turn around and fucking kill them.
And then start eating.
And then realize she's done it and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just that time of the month,
One of her first victims is Nathan Fillion, who she kills and then eats, and then his head sticks around and is there out of guilt. Just, Nathan Fillion's head just sticking around for like 2 seasons, and then they replace him with Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, okay.
But they replace him with Alan Tudyk?
In the 3rd season.
I mean, yeah, that's...
Really?
I think legally, you have to replace one Firefly actor with another.
Well, I straight up didn't notice that it was Alan Tudyk under all the prosthetics in season 3.
The head deteriorates as every season goes, and that's kind of like the recurring joke, so maybe you didn't notice, Harley, but, yeah. It sounds like a gross premise. It's really goofy, but boy howdy, does every actor in the Santa Clarita diet just fully commit to the bit. It's great.
Yeah, Timothy Oliphant is crushing it.
Is he her husband?
Bouncing from Alan Tudyk to another show, Resident Alien? Fantastic.
It's not a Netflix show.
It's not a Netflix show, but it is on Netflix.
Very good.
And it's really good. Resident Alien features Alan Tudyk playing.
As all great shows do.
As all great shows do, it features Alan Tudyk playing an alien invader trying to recover a device he lost in the Rocky Mountains by disguising himself as a small-town doctor doing small town doctor things while also slowly learning to be human and falling in love with one of his nurses who is Native American, and I knew her name and I can't remember it, and that makes me a bad Native American.
Oh no, they have to take away your...
They have to take away my... They have to come take away my card. I'm gonna have to start paying taxes.
Yeah, that's really the one you don't want to have to deal with. Jeez, it's rough.
And it actually does feature quite a lot of native characters, which is fantastic. And it also features a lot of native artists on the soundtrack.
Hold it. What's that Netflix show that just came out that is in like it's in super northern Alaska?
It's like above the 60th or something.
It's a comedy about Inuit people who live in northern Alaska. I'm looking this up. Netflix comedy Alaska. North of North.
North of North. Sorry, above the 60th is the name of a mod for Crusader Kings, which is also about Inuit people.
It's okay.
That's a Canadian.
There's also a
CDC production.
The other recommendation that Google offered me was a show called Bigfoot Family.
Well, that just sounds...
society
Do you-
hidden in an everyday tavern.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
Of course.
I have a couple of friends who swear by the show and say that it's like super good. Like, oh my god, you need to see it. And every time I look up something, like whenever I look it up, it's like, this looks dumb and stupid and I don't want to watch it, is Love, Death, and Robots.
So,
Okay.
that varies from episode to episode very harshly.
Love, Death, and Robots
It's
is
an anthology
series. So I would say that of what is out, Love, Death, and Robots really shines in fuck, I would have to hold on, I have to go and actually look at the names
Like
of
whenever
the
I
episodes.
look it up, it's like, or I watch
Zima
the
Blue.
the seasonal trailers for it's like, this seems like it is like
Like-
too much.
like
and/or,
most
like,
anthology
plainly-
series, and especially
yeah,
Netflix
it seems like it is for
anthologies.
someone that is at least 10 years younger than me.
I think
So,
I'd go for it.
Individual
yeah,
episodes are
working for
great.
accounting.
I recommend the
But I don't
episode
think
Zima
knights have
Blue.
to do
It's
The mercenary
very good.
business isn't one you stay in for
Some of the
life.
episodes are barely anything, and some of them are bad, and just like leaning into violence for no reason, and it felt like, I don't know, someone's college project or something at like some sort of film school.
I would like to interrupt the audience
just
for
like-
I,
When I
YouTube
see
is
that show out of
YouTube is
context, it always
suggesting
seemed
me
dumb.
YouTube is suggesting me a video called Skies of Arcadia is a forgotten JRPG masterpiece. And
I mean, it
I
kinda
feel
is,
like
but-
I'm going to have an aneurysm. Oh, you mean
Okay,
the one JRPG that every single fucking Dreamcast and GameCube person never shuts up about?
I mean, not even Dreamcast people played that game, and the GameCube re-release was actually a financial failure for them, so literally no one has played it.
More
Just
more
a-
people have played the Skies of Arcadia stage in Sonic Racing Transformed.
Just a quick question here for
Yes.
folks who are of the anime persuasion.
Yeah.
What Netflix exclusive animes should people check out?
Agaretsu is really good. I think it's
Agretsuko,
genuinely one
yeah.
of the best ones. Like
You
in
said
terms of, like, actual
Agaretsu.
anime,
Yeah, it's a Gretzko, right?
Agretsuko.
A Gretzko.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about.
that show's very good.
I mean, there's a whole genre of anime about millennial burnout, because that's also what that Pokemon Concierge show is about.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
forgot about Pokemon.
There's like a surprisingly good amount of anime on Netflix that they just have for some reason. Like, honestly, that Romantic Killer show is pretty good.
That was what I was gonna say. Romantic Killer is quite good.
Delicious in Dungeon.
Yep. Like that Ranma 1/2 remake is really good, even though like parts of it are maybe not as well done as the original, but still like
you don't get
it's still
stupid
really good
nipples
as it turns
anymore
out.
because it's not from the 80s.
Yeah, the nipples have been removed.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Some best Netflix anime. I'm trying to think of like, because it's really hard. Because a lot of Netflix is like so I like the astronomy one. Not Pluto, but what was the one where it's the guy that's trying to do the astronomy and like Galileo and stuff? God, what was that called?
Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy: Kingdom.
No.
Dang it.
I mean, we.
Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy: Siege. So no.
You're just adding like new words to the end of
You're going to
Transformers.
make me actually open Netflix.
Devilman Crybaby, is that it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Devilman.
That show's like kind of hateful but good.
That show is,
Devilman.
if nothing else, it's Science Saru just flexing.
Yeah.
And we already talked about that Scott Pilgrim anime.
As everyone should. That show's good as hell.
Oh my god, Devilman Crybaby was.
It's a tough watch. I don't know if it's really that good. Zom 100 is a good anime on the Netflix.
People like Pluto.
And, Pluto is fine. Pluto's fine.
I don't know. Oh, Lazarus is out.
Cyberpunk Edgerunger's is maybe their biggest hit yet, but...
Lazarus is out now. That's a Netflix, right?
I'm super into the cyberpunk area world. And there's exactly one good episode of that Junji Ito anime on Netflix. There's one good episode to be had there. Don't go beyond episode 1. The episode 2 curse of anything that Junji Ito does or has his name attached to is a real fucking thing. Right, Braden?
I did not watch... I intentionally did not watch the Spiral show.
Uzumaki.
Uzumaki. I intentionally did not watch Uzumaki because it sure... Hey, guess what? Pandemic, WB, Discovery merger, etc., etc. The Curse of Junji Ito.
Yeah. So here's a quick question for y'all.
Yes.
Did any of you make the horrible mistake of, let's say, being bored during the pandemic, watching that Baki Netflix show?
Baki, Grappler Baki is
a nightmare.
Horror fantasy, like it's.
Is it?
I don't.
It's.
I mean, the thing about Baki is that guy had that specific style of art to purposefully like he was not a great artist. I don't feel like I'm insulting anyone from saying that Baki looks bad, but he made something that was referential of that genre of like Dragon Ball Z power fantasy stuff, and like the whole purpose is to have Big Muscle Man fight Big Muscle Man Z. And you gotta go through
he just took it to the logical extreme.
Yeah, and it's just like the most extremist maximal Muscle Man fucking show.
Muscle Man fighting other Muscle Man show.
I think one of the things that Netflix's version of Baki really kind of lost me with is that for some reason it starts in the middle of the third arc.
Yeah, because an anime already exists for the other stuff. It's just a continuation.
It's like how Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood just kind of zooms through the stuff that it overlaps with the 03 anime.
But it's still there in Brotherhood, and the first anime for Baki, the stuff that came before what's on Netflix, isn't on Netflix, or
Yep.
at least it wasn't on Netflix.
Well,
So
welcome to Netflix hell.
Yeah, I don't even think it's like a recent show. Like it came out like 20 years ago, from what I understand.
So,
But like,
anybody
so
who-
let's be honest though. Like, does Baki starting from the beginning? Does that matter? It's such nonsense that does any of this shit matter?
I think it would lend some credence to the idea that all the greatest fighters in Japan casually know and
Master
interact
Zay,
with a
you've been
random
summoned by-
17-year-old as if he could beat their ass at the drop of a hat.
Well, but that's the funny thing about that season that they. I mean, I've never read Baki. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. So maybe
Do you think I
I'm not the right
read
person.
manga?
Yeah, like who
I do
reads
sometimes, actually. I watched Delicious in Dungeon, and then I read the entire manga online, and
That's wise.
Yeah, it's good though.
It turns out Delicious in Dungeon is very good.
It is.
But what I was going to say about Baki, though, is that whatever they have on Netflix barely has anything to do with Baki. It's literally just random prisoners fighting random people in Japan in the most ludicrous ways possible. Half the time, no one's wearing anything but a leotard.
Well, yeah,
And
again,
it just treats it like this is a normal thing. Like, this is a
Like-
thing that people do.
and it does that. It does that because it's the middle of the third arc of a fucking thing.
And he's, in theory, needing to train and prepare himself for this upcoming boss dude.
No, but he's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't train at all during it. The entire
Fight
first season,
people
he's
who
just
are
trying to
weaker
date
than
this girl.
dude to like get up to the echelons of like the top of the pyramid.
no.
I'm with Harley here. It's not.
No,
actually
you're
that
not
big
with
of a
me.
deal.
You're not with me.
Why?
Actually,
I
he's
have to
already beaten his He's already beaten his father by the time
No,
the
but
Netflix
he's like
show
dealing
starts.
with a new threat that's been already established in theory by the time that we get to this part of the show. If you've been following
Baki's new threat in that part of the show is going on a date with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Like, the only reason why he gets into a fight is because a criminal happens to see him being on a date with his girlfriend. And then this random dude wearing nothing but a leotard comes and says, "No, I got you, Baki. I'll handle this while you date your girlfriend."
Well, that random dude in Arc 2 is a character that Baki fights multiple times and has earned the respect of several times over because there were 2 full arcs that had already happened,
this is
and Netflix
definitely
is
a
just like,
cave.
well,
Who'd have thought
I
we'd
guess
find
they
something
can
like
watch the 20-year-old show if they want to know that.
Yeah, except we won't
read the
provide
manga.
it.
Except we're not gonna have it on our site.
Yeah, that costs money. Can you even watch the original Baki show? Like, I feel like the new Baki show has basically erased the old Baki.
I think it's on Crunchyroll.
What? Yeah, if it's not on Crunchyroll, don't worry. There are ways to watch anime.
Yeah,
it's a pain in it's kind of a pain in the ass. You know, assuming that anime doesn't get tariffed.
How does one tariff the anime?
I think the wildest thing. Also, this is important to note. Thematically speaking, Baki is not even necessarily about which muscle dude has bigger muscles.
No.
It's actually. It's not even technique. It's more about like which muscle dude's ideology is correct.
Yeah.
Like, Baki and his dad fight, and it's not supposed to be, oh, is Baki stronger than his dad? It's supposed to be, is Baki's outlook on life powerful enough to overcome his father's apathy?
One might say, Harley, that is the core of all shonen anime, but it is more the core in Baki.
That's fair. That is all shonen anime, and then Baki was like, yeah, but we're gonna wear it on our fucking sleeve and make sure you know it.
Listen, I watched the Chunin exam arc. I remember when Naruto fought Neji, and
Yeah.
it was a battle of ideology.
Yeah, and it was like a ripoff of that one Cowboy Bebop movie.
What?
Yeah, they completely like stole the choreography from the Cowboy Bebop movie for that fight.
That would not surprise me.
That surprises me because Neji's fighting style is fairly unique as far as I'm aware. But also, I've never watched Cowboy Bebop, so I don't know enough about it to dispute it.
I remember that being a thing when I was a youth.
I do know that the opening of the first episode of Ruby rips off the opening of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
And that is on Netflix, I think. Ruby Ice Queendom? Or whatever, the anime version?
Yeah.
That whole bit where like Ruby's in the dust shop with her headphones on listening to music and then the robbery happens around her, that's bar for bar the opening of Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
And they're not even subtle about it.
Yeah, see, the great thing about Ruby is that, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Ruby's greatest strength is that it stands between, especially those early seasons, stands right between being professional productions and being amateur fan things. And so they get away with everything.
Yeah, they get away with a lot.
See, they try after Monty Oom's passing.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
After Monty Oom's passing, they continued to try that kind of semi-referential, semi-parody stuff, and it just didn't hit the same way because, and I 100% feel justified in saying this,
Clever old low
the entire rest of the crew behind Ruby
Sometimes
is not Monty Oom.
Better than falling
Yeah,
for the same trap
I mean,
twice.
They
Boy.
will never be Monty Oom.
No.
He
somehow
had-
the only man who ever made good machinima of a bunch of ladies from video games fighting, and then said, "What if we made a real show out of that?"
There's one.
And honestly, the fact that after he passed away, they tried to like kind of push his family out of the production and shit.
Yeah. It's almost like Rooster Teeth was kind of a maybe not a great
organization.
Maybe not a great
overall.
organization.
I'll say
Yeah,
that.
as someone who has volunteered at the Rooster Teeth convention, I never really understood.
You cannot share that story. This is being recorded.
That was a different convention.
Oh, you're right. That was a different convention.
That was
A
a different-
different.
You sound like an NDA or something for a con?
No, it's one of those things where we'll talk
I know
about
the
it
story.
off.
You don't want to know the
stream.
story. We also don't want to have it on a recording.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all
you
that
don't want to
needs
have it on
be said.
recording. You might get Sean Bolam coming here and slitting your throats.
Okay,
But,
as soon as the recording is over, we do have to talk about this.
Not really.
I want to know. This sounds interesting.
If you want this, just have.
It's not
W
interesting, it's
direct
actually
message
just
it.
kind of
Moving
fucked up.
on to what was the topic? I forgot. Jesus
We were
Christ.
talking about
Rooster Teeth.
Ruby.
Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
Other than Ruby, I
People,
have a
do people
fondness
like
for
Genlock?
Red versus
I've never
Blue,
watched
because that was a
anything
part of
Rooster
my
Teeth
life
at all.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
I fuck with some Red versus Blue. I loved Red versus Blue. They kind of lost me with the post chorus stuff when they started getting into the AIs pretending to be gods and real actual time travel. That was always a little funky. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that sounds like they kind of just jumped the shark there. Like, The parts of Red versus Blue that I saw that I liked was just like dumb jokes that happened to be, animated using Halo characters.
Yeah.
Like if they stuck to that, I'm
okay.
sure they would have succeeded, and they did succeed. I mean, let's be honest, Rooster Teeth was a very successful company until they got purchased, and then
And then Warner Brothers did what Warner Brothers do best.
Yeah, they
Warner Brothers got something that was successful and was like, how do we make monies? I don't know. You make animation on interweb, not on Cartoon Network? That confusing. It's like,
This isn't Dr. Pimple Popper.
Rooster Teeth made money and was a successful company right up until they weren't.
Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure, just going by what I was seeing when I was volunteering at the Rooster Teeth convention, and once again, this is someone who doesn't really watch Rooster Teeth at all. Like, there was a lot of people showing up for that shit. Like, a lot. It was what I would call a bigger convention than one of the biggest conventions in Toronto, which is Fan Expo. Like, more people showed up to the Rooster Teeth convention in Austin, Texas, than Fan Expo in Toronto, which is more or less like Comic-Con in Canada. So, like, people loved that shit, whatever that stuff was.
Genlock, season 1 of Genlock, probably some of the better mecha anime I've seen. I've seen a lot of mecha anime, like a lot.
Have you seen Aura Battle or Dunbind?
I actually haven't seen that one. I did just the other day watch the trailer for Doozy Bots with M. Y'all ever hear about Doozy Bots?
Can't say I have.
Yeah, it's because it was canceled immediately after it debuted its trailer.
Huh.
Okay.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, Doozy Bots was one of the first attempts to bring Gundam to America, and it failed so hard that the show itself didn't even air in Japan.
Oh, so is this like the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest of Gundam?
Basically.
Except even that got released in Japan, called Final Fantasy USA.
Doozy Bots was about a bunch of, I want to say high schoolers, because it's always high schoolers, who had a wacky scientist who could transfer their minds into the bodies of their robots. Very similar to Genlock.
If it's an offering, maybe it's for that big
Who,
statue.
did it 30 years later, 40 years
What you're saying is
later.
Rooster Teeth copied Doozy Bots.
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
To go back to our theme of talking about
You heard it here
Netflix
first, Rooster Teeth. We're calling you out. Whatever's left of the husk of the company, come fight us.
That's right, Zaslav.
All right,
I just
Zombie
thought of a
Pie, hit
Netflix
us.
show. I just thought of a
Hey Gus,
Netflix
remember that
show
one
fits
time I
our
didn't let your mom
original
into the
premise.
convention hall?
Jesus Christ. Zombie Pie, go.
The end of the fucking world.
The end of the fucking... That's the... Hold on, just so I remember correctly. Isn't that the show about, like, a teenage psychopath who wants to murder... Who wants to murder his own girlfriend?
Yes.
And
But then
can't
she
do it?
develops a relationship with him. And she starts playing into the whole, like, oh, I'm going to be your next victim.
I remember that show. I remember that show. That was...
So yeah, it's two, like, let's say, not super well-adjusted. It's also based off of, I think, a comic.
I mean, all the best canceled Netflix shows are based off comics. Let's be real clear. Happy is based off of
But it
graphic
is
novel.
two psychopaths that have fallen in love. Someone needs to piece the dots that one of them is actually a big, huge threat. And it's just like these two recalcitrant teens, I think young adults, that are falling in love. The weird thing is they made a short film for it that was like later used as the pilot, the short film is like considered lost because they only put it on like a promotional account or a website that's defunct, and then eventually turned into a Netflix show that had a season in 2017, and then they took a 2-year hiatus to make the second season, and the third season is probably never going to happen.
Yeah, that sounds like a Netflix show.
It's good. Obviously, drug use, dark themes, dark everything. Now I'm trying to think of like other things that are like underrated.
I mean, there are shows that I see on Netflix all the time that I don't watch. Like, there's a buddy cop show called The Happy Time Murders.
That's not a Netflix show. That's a movie that came out in theaters. Jim Henson's son directed that movie.
That was a movie? That's a movie?
Yeah,
that movie's
bud.
deeply fucked up.
Jim Henson's son directed that movie. It's not very
like
good.
There's a weird puppet orgy at one point.
Yeah. It's no Meet the
I
Feebles.
mean, if you're gonna have puppets, you might as well use them to get around doing shit you wouldn't normally be allowed to do.
Once again, Peter Jackson, ahead of his time.
It's like how in cartoons or like in anime and shit, you can like really fucking brutalize people and then still you're allowed to market it to fucking teenagers.
I've seen Battle Angel Alita.
But then you can't just casually be like, yeah, this is a kid's TV show. This guy gets his arms ripped off in episode 1.
Yeah, that's why Battle Angel Alita is great, because that movie somehow manages a PG-13 rating.
It is big.
Even though it is just chock full of people getting dismembered and ripped apart.
It's PG-13 if they're robots.
It's PG-13 if they're robots.
Those fangs we found must go here.
You know what's a dumb Netflix show that I think got way too many seasons?
Yeah, what's up?
Big Mouth.
I don't care for Big Mouth.
So, like, there's a purpose to Big Mouth that, look, you either like that purpose or you don't, which is actively and transparently depicting what it is to go through puberty and come to terms with your own human sexuality.
Yeah,
now, I'm not saying that I personally relate to any of those characters, but that's the purpose of the show. It is deeply uncomfortable, and look, as someone who has to help people make that journey, I hate to fucking break it to you guys, it's an awkward, sometimes ugly, very embarrassing journey.
I just don't like Nick
I would
Kroll.
say that was... You don't need to. You don't need to. But I'm just saying that the look of the show actually does, in my opinion, work with that weird purpose
Are these
of
correct markings? This is like a
depicting
museum.
going through that
There's all kinds
in
of
all
valuable
of
things
its
forgotten by history.
weird and
Makes you
sometimes
think.
nasty
Humans
details.
in Garak
And so
control
to
the
me,
surface now,
I
and
don't
the
think it's
rentage are the
bad.
ones who
I don't
remember
think
this
it's great. I think that it's a show that has
ahead.
that is made the
Maybe we
way
can
that
aim
it is
for
for
the
a
stars.
reason. And
well spotted.
That's all I will say.
Give it a
Is
go.
like
See, I wouldn't
you
say
can
that it
shoot
was.
your crossbow
I
to
would
it.
never say that it's bad, but I could absolutely tell you that I don't understand how it got more than 1 or 2 seasons. To me, that makes no sense.
That show just, there was a lot that they wanted to cover with that being the part of the show, the purpose of the show. So, whatever.
Yeah, doesn't it have like 6 seasons or some shit?
I don't know.
I suppose I
I'll
could
just say
look this
that
up.
I see a reason for it to exist.
Oh, everything has a right to exist when it comes to dumb TV shows. If someone's got an idea and someone's willing to pay you money, go
Big
count,
Mouth
right?
has 8 seasons.
8 seasons.
And
Look, I'll say this. I never
spin-off.
thought Enchanted was good. I think that Enchanted is fucking awful and boring.
The Matt Groening show, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that show existed simply because
You had the right person.
Matt
catch
Groening.
it.
Disenchanted.
Yeah.
I
It was
love
We Got Our Own
how
Simpsons, and it's on Netflix.
Their main female protagonist, whom that entire show basically lies on, they really didn't know what to do with her, and her big whole like thing ended up being, I feel really more comfortable with no closure. And it's like, what?
That's where it goes? I only really watched the first season and half of the
there's
second season.
like weird fan servicey stuff in that show that it's like, what are we doing here?
Being the princess bones a lot.
Okay. I'm just nodding my head now.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's 8 seasons of Big Mouth and 2 seasons of its spin-off, Human Resources.
I've never seen the spin-off.
It's about just the monsters, I think.
I would not want to watch a show just about the monsters, I'll say that.
Speaking of Netflix things with John Mulaney in them. Did you know that John Mulaney has a talk show on Netflix that is live every week?
Yeah. I'm not sure why he's got it, but that's true.
I wasn't aware it was a live talk show. I thought it was just a new special, but
no, it is a weekly show that airs like it was an old TV show.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
I saw the bit where he has a bunch of actors who all played Willy Loman in Death of a Salesman talk about random issues. It's like, the young people, are they using their phones too much? And one of them is Christopher Lloyd, by the way.
Glad to hear
and
that
one of them
he's
is like a high school kid, like high school kids who were in a high school production of Death of a Salesman.
How big she?
I have horrible news.
Somebody's been drinking their milk.
They're making a Madden biopic.
Yeah, I mean, he's an interesting dude.
Where Nicolas Cage plays John Madden.
The football video game?
No.
Before the football video game, there was a man,
Madden.
Harley.
Yeah, John Madden.
Named John Madden.
And
he was
apparently...
I love how to make a turducken.
Apparently John Mulaney is playing Trip Hopkins.
Yeah, you know what? Perfect.
Swallowed by that thing.
I don't know who that is.
The EA guy.
Trip Hawkins, absolutely. John Mulaney, absolutely the correct energy for Trip Hawkins. Just like, hey, I've got something to sell you. It's a 3DO.
Yep, we got plumbers don't wear ties. It's awful, but you might get a little racy if you know what.
Might get a little.
Zale, chuck a bomb at it before I get completely digested.
There's no
So
nudity
in
in
fact
that.
that we sold this thing for children as an educational tool.
Well, you see,
I thought that was more of the CDI's thing.
we bought Ultima and then we ran it in the ground. That's my John Mulaney impression, by the way. That's my John Mulaney,
honestly,
like specifically the showman voice that he does.
Yeah. You think he can turn it off?
I mean, he's not on coke anymore.
Well, that's good.
Allegedly.
I don't. Harley, have you seen John Mulaney in the like? I say this. I say this with all the love in my heart. John Mulaney has aged about 10 years in the last 2 years. Because he has stopped doing the cocaine. And
that's what happens when you stop doing cocaine, right?
Yes, and also now he has like an amazing muscular jaw for some reason.
Maybe it's from all that talking.
Maybe he traded the cocaine habit for plastic surgery. It wouldn't be the weirdest thing a celebrity's done.
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean,
I have no problems with John Mulaney. I want to be clear about that.
Yeah.
I just really only cared for like his first special, and then his second special just felt like kind of more of the first one to me.
I thought his most recent special was good.
And then a bunch of idiots on the internet got really upset when he divorced his wife.
He did have a baby with someone else, which I feel like
is a no-no.
Let's just say that seems like a good reason one would ask for divorce.
Okay, but here's the thing:
if your husband relapses and gets on coke again, and then has a baby with Olivia Munn.
My understanding of the timeline, without going into great detail, was that he relapsed. They separated, but had not yet divorced, and then he got Olivia Munn pregnant. Post-separation, pre-divorce.
Yeah.
But
okay, let's talk about shows rather than.
Anyway, I think his new show. I want to watch his new show.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
I can't look at his new show because for whatever reason I can't log into Netflix right now.
So when you say new show, you mean the night show or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I appreciate that basically John Mulaney's like, you guys do know I'm kind of a fuck up, right? Like, I'm not just a lovable, fresh-faced lad.
Yeah, most people aren't.
Also, some responsible for some pretty good SNL skits back in the day.
Back in the day. Really good at SNL.
And
with SNL.
whenever he guests on SNL, it's usually a good time.
What's Bo Burnham up to these days?
Probably
What
nothing.
is Bo Burnham?
Probably making songs. Born in 1964, Jeffrey Bezos.
Well, it's like he made that one special where it was all entirely in his fucking, like, shed.
Yeah.
Released it on Netflix, and then as far as I'm aware, just kind of...
He has he been attached to any other films? Because I thought that film he directed, what was it called? Middle.
Oh, right.
The one where it's the girl in middle school.
More stairs.
What was that show?
I'm shedding pounds just looking at them.
You're gonna think I'm weird.
Yeah, right.
And I just asked it without. What
Come
was
on.
that show where it was
One,
those two adult
2,
women trying to be
3.
teenagers, and it was about women
Just stairs,
discovering
eh?
masturbation?
You lost count?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, I have
No
not
idea.
seen the
I
hentai in
didn't.
question.
The show I think you're talking about, Arbitrary Water, is 8th grade.
Yeah, 8th grade. That's a good movie.
I ain't moving.
Wait, I need to look this
That
up.
movie's
So
a
you
cringe
guys think I'm
nightmare.
a weird
Yeah,
pervert.
just type that straight into Google. CP. Nothing bad will happen.
And so Zale and the others eradicated the wretches and their queen. After
Actually, here's a question. Has anyone here watched Zero Day?
New day by the warm rain.
Zero Day.
What's that
I have
about?
Yeah, it's a Netflix show with Robert De Niro. I'm pretty sure it's only one season. It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, which is something.
Yeah, I
appreciate.
mean, yeah, if you're paying for Bobby De Niro,
Yeah, you're not getting him for a second season.
no. You're getting the Irishman.
Yeah. Like, if none of you have watched it, like, I was actually, like, skeptical of watching that at first, but I think it's a legitimately good show.
Oh, Pen 15, right?
Yeah, I don't think
is
Pen
that the weird
15's
thing?
Netflix.
Yeah, sorry, I was wrong.
Pen 15, I
was.
mean, I don't hate Pen 15. I like the movie they did more. I like Bottoms. That movie's very good.
Yeah, no, according to IMDb, Bo Burnham's most recent special in 2021 is in fact the last thing he's done, except for, according to this, he has an upcoming role in Sesame Street.
Fucking great.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Media.
Listen, if I could be on Sesame Street.
Okay, first off, which Muppet segment would you most remember?
Okay, I would be on a segment with, like, I don't know, Grover.
This is a movie.
And I would.
This is Sesame Street the movie.
Oh. Okay,
shit.
yeah, that checks
Big
out
Bird
too.
and shit? Hell yeah.
Big Bird and storyline summary. Big
wish you
Bird
the
and
best of
friends
luck.
are expelled from Sesame Street, ending up in Manhattan. They join a TV host trying to prove
That's a
Sesame
dark-
Street exists, facing
That's dark.
opposition from the
You've been
mayor who
expelled
wants to keep
from
it
Sesame Street, and now you have to go to New York.
Oh,
That's the most
God.
dystopian premise ever. Is it a horror movie? I don't
It's
know.
listed as a comedy musical.
Can you tell me how to get to
Have
the
you
place
actually
where the
tried to watch that Big Bird movie? It's like genuinely dark and depressing in parts.
Oh,
I think
the
that's,
Catch That
it's
Bird?
the Jim Henson touch where he wants to make kids cry in order for the movie to work.
Big Bird.
That's always been kind of like a weird Jim Hensonism.
I mean, Labyrinth, man.
Yeah.
It's a dark movie.
Well,
Dark Crystal
hold
has
on.
that segment where all the evil bird people are like just talking over a dinner in which you don't have any translation of what they're talking about.
Which Big
You know what
Bird
you're
movie
talking
are
about.
we talking about?
It's from the 70s. It's called like Find That Bird or whatever.
Oh, Follow That Bird.
Follow That
okay.
Bird.
Damn, that's...
But yeah, listen, man. If
Jim Henson liked dark shit.
Yeah. If they let me onto Sesame Street, I would be so stoked to tell kids about, like, words.
Yeah. Do they still have Oscar the Grouch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And he
The
still
whole
loves
like
trash.
weird internet myth that they put a label about Cookie Monster and stuff was literally complete bullshit. Like that
Wait,
was,
you're
like, a
telling me
lie.
people on the internet are getting mad about a fake things?
Yes, all the time.
Anyway, I've
Oh,
been
it's
playing The
Joe.
Last Story for the past 2 hours. I'm having a good time. I like this game a lot.
It's a good
How
game.
long have we been having this conversation for?
This podcast, quote-unquote podcast.
This
I
must
should
have,
also point out that did ping me. Is this actually a podcast? Because I actually don't hate the idea.
Well, you should tell him if you don't want to record something tomorrow,
I don't.
this can be the
his idea of
podcast.
doing something that's like about Giant Bomb and like reminiscing. I'm not emotionally ready for that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah,
Um,
that'd be a tough.
We've been going for about
I'm not
an hour
emotionally
and a half for this
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah.
The question is, how much of it is actually usable?
Yeah, that's... I mean, I feel like M might have to actually do a little bit more work on this one.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
Well, if she has to do some work on it, she can yell at me about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Ugh.
Well...
As it is, however, I am starting to flag a little bit.
Yep, that's fair.
What if? Okay. What if we did this again, but we took it for realsies this time?
Oh, you mean like
What,
actually
like-
prepare and like have things you want to talk about as opposed to like
Everybody brings a list of Netflix
looking
shows
at random
to talk
things?
about.
I mean, I just... If we're gonna...
I think we can actually turn this into a podcast.
I'm not joking when I say, like, what if we just did our Fooly Cooley episode?
What if
right
we
now?
recorded an episode about?
What if we just started
Oblivion?
watching Fooly Cooley and started talking over it like it's
Like it's a commentary
like
track?
riff tracks or something? Except we're not. we
No,
wouldn't be able
I was
to
just
make
saying,
fun of
like,
it.
I just get everyone to watch Fooly Cooley.
I mean, you could do that most of the time, as long as it's not the new one.
No, I think Fooly Cooley...
The fact that we had an issue with like trying to watch the OVA because Adult Swim has the rights and they only want you to watch their new shit that they paid money for. Sucks so much shit.
Yeah, I think FLCL Alternative has
One of those
has
shows
some
people will tell you
ideas.
is good. I don't care.
It has some ideas, TM. It's not great. I'm gonna hit stop record.
Good night, Craig. Good night,
Good night,
viewers.
Craig. Thanks everyone for listening. Well, assuming if this does end up being turned into this week's podcast, I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize to all involved.
Yeah, we inflicted a Canadian on you. It wasn't me.
Apologize for nothing.
Except for
can't
Reed
prove it.
Hastings, the founder of Netflix. I do not apologize to you.
Yeah, fuck you, Reed Hastings.
Yeah, you can expect our podcast on The Last Story and also Duke Nukem Forever and Lunar Dragon Song. And I think you're recording the Type Zero podcast too, right? The first Type Zero pod.
That's why I was like, I kind of don't want to do a Giant Bomb podcast. Also, it's like you're gonna make me cry. Then
You're gonna make me go
get
down the bummer hole. Well,
get angry again.
Yeah.
And I need to get introspective with your podcast.
Yeah. All right. Well, remember, there's no such thing as cheating with a friend's Netflix password.
Or making a podcast.
Or making
Cheating corner.
There's no such thing as cheating in a you just press the record button and hope that's content. Sorry, Em.
I have an idea for a filler podcast if Gina wants to reject this idea.
Okay.
We could talk about Oblivion. Harley, what if we talked about Oblivion?
I think we lost Harley.
Damn
Well,
it.
I'm here.
Oh, we lost somebody. I don't know who it was.
Harley, what if we talked about Oblivion tomorrow?
You'd have
We
to
lost
get me
Craig.
Oblivion.
Craig!
You'd have to get me Oblivion. I've never played it.
You can talk about Oblivion from like the old school perspective.
I've never played it.
You've never played
You've
Oblivion?
never played Oblivion?
No.
That you said you did.
Nah. I was a Fallout kid.
A Fallout boy?
No, Fallout. The fucking other half of the Bethesda games. I didn't even play Skyrim until like earlier last year.
I was lining it up.
I was
I said the words Fallout boy.
I said the word.
Anyway, we're not recording anymore.
What was I supposed to bounce off of Fallout Boy with?
They're a band.
Yeah, but like, what am I just supposed to say the name of one of their songs?
Yes.
Phoenix. Young Volcanoes. Lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off. That one's a My Chemical Romance song, I think. Young Blood.
What, like the Image comics?
No, the Fallout Boy song.
Oh, okay.
I'm naming Fallout Boy song. He said name Fallout Boy song.
Sorry, I was distracted.
It's a shame I just ended the recording.
I hear Horace has been sneaking out and going on archaeological digs behind my back. He doesn't think, well,
Oh, there really is no way to get FLCL legally, is there?
No, because again, Adult Swim really just wants you to watch the new shit, which you don't want to watch.
I
'cause
have
it's
not seen the
fucking
CG one. The CG one looks rough. Or were there two CG ones?
I think there were two CG ones.
Because, yeah, like, Fooly Cooly Progressive is just, what if we just did Fooly Cooly again, but the main character's a girl?
Oh, that was FLCL alternative.
And then no, alternative is the one where it's the main character's a girl, but it's like slightly different, and it's just about like, hey, your friends are gonna leave you at some point, and you need to be okay with that when you get older.
I mean, that's fair.
Which is at least more interesting than what if we literally just dug up the corpse of this 20-year-old anime. Because at the time it was 20 years old.
Way back in the day in middle school, when I was first getting into anime and also first noticing that girls exist, once fumbled a girl over Fooly Cooly.
Okay.
What?
Oh, were you like, hey, listen here.
You gotta like this shit, or else I'm not gonna date you?
No, it was the other way around. She wanted me to watch the show.
Oh, you fucked up.
Fucking smashed? Oh, wait.
And I'd
smash for anime. If a girl, if someone that I was attracted to and or like even like remotely interested in me said, if you watch this anime, we can smash, I would fucking do it.
Okay, but what if that anime was like...
But what if she just means play Super Smash Brothers?
I'm a nightmare.
Yeah, what if she just means play Super Smash Brothers? Honestly, I'd be cool with that too.
Listen,
cool
if a woman talked to me,
if a human talked to me and then also wanted to smash, I'd let it go. I would let it go.
Listen. She told me that I should watch Fooly Cooly.
Uh-huh.
And I went home that day and I watched the first 3 episodes.
Uh-huh.
Didn't super get it.
That's the natural Fooly Cooly response. I'll just say that.
Went to school the next day and told her that it was like kind of a weird show, and I much preferred Naruto, and then she never spoke to me again.
Perfect.
That's fucking great. That made my day.
Yeah, that's good.
Can we just watch Naruto together?
No.
And it's like, you need to. We're never talking again, is what she said. Told you.
Literally just fucking ghosted. We had 4 classes together, 3 of which we sat side by side in for
she
the
never
next,
looked at you again.
For the next 2 months. She never fucking looked at me again.
This is like how I told that girl on Hinge that I lived with my parents, and then she didn't respond to me.
Dog, you just gotta start saying that your mom lives with you.
No, yes, you need to. I've been told multiple times you shouldn't bring that up until you're on the first date in person. Or,
shouldn't bring that up until you're married.
Until you've already played Super Smash
Until she's
Brothers.
locked in.
I think in my honest opinion, coming from someone who lived for a very long time in a community where living with your parents or your parents living with you was like a fairly normal
nuclear families.
thing.
I think that there are also certain cultures where nuclear families are far more acceptable than I think in Western cultures. Like if you said that to Braden, someone who was Japanese or Chinese, oh, you live with your parents? Me too. Would probably be the saying there.
Like back living on the reservation, it's kind of just assumed that you either live with your parents or you live with 4 roommates.
Yeah.
Purely because either A, it might be backwoods California, but it's still fucking California, and being alive in California is expensive.
I live in a shoebox, Harley.
It's true.
How much does a shoebox run you in the Bay Area?
I don't want to mention it.
I don't want to mention
$5 million. Let's go with that.
You might be
Even
low
worse,
on that.
Harley, I live in San Jose. I'm fucked.
Hey, ZP, you want to know what's hilarious? You could buy you could have, maybe not anymore. You could have bought a whole fucking city block for $200,000 in Green Bay.
Yeah, but then you have to move to
Live in
Wisconsin.
Green Bay.
Yatsu,
It's totally
Yatsu,
fine there.
Are you familiar with the YouTuber who does videos comparing the cost of buying a house in Canada with the cost of purchasing a European castle?
No, but I'm aware of the cost difference that you could totally get a European castle for way less than a house in Canada. Yeah.
He has 47 videos detailing 47 so far different castles that cost the same amount as like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in the Canadian suburbs.
Yeah. It's almost like there's a horrible housing problem in Canada that was caused by, the
Not
governments over
building
the last
houses
20
for
years not
20
giving
years.
a shit. It's just straight up letting, foreign rich people show up and buy entire condo complexes because
No, so Jatsu doesn't
foreign
support
investment.
capitalism.
Hey, listen.
You know what?
When you,
I don't
it's
support
it's one of those
capitalism.
things where when I
Got
know
some
someone who
communists
works
in
for
this.
a real estate developer, and before anything goes out on the market, a rich Chinese factory owner just shows up and buys half of the fucking properties. It's kind of like, okay, cool, great.
Way worse in California, right, Harley? Oh, people from other countries are speculating on housing prices and not actually making them to fucking live in. And
Yeah.
they're all like 4-bedroom apartments when clearly a bunch of people just want 1-bedroom apartments. Fuck me.
So, but here's the thing: like in the U.S., the U.S. has stopped me from buying more than one
The
house.
Count's chain.
I can only own one house in the U.S. if I'm not a citizen. I can't buy any more. You guys could come here and buy like 20 houses if you were able to afford them. You're not able to, but you could.
Do you own a house in the United States?
Yeah, I own a house in Green Bay.
Soon you will become a knight.
I bought it for like $48,000.
Why?
I hate you.
Why? Because I was renting it out for $700 a month. That shit paid for itself.
Oh,
you've made the right choice.
Fair enough.
What are you doing?
Also,
with it
I
right
lived
now?
in Wisconsin for a bunch of time. Like, I straight up was like, part owner of a way better house that used to exist in Appleton, but then,
treasured within the
things.
What are you doing with that house right now?
Things will
In
get
Green
a
Bay?
lot busier around here.
I'm renting it out to a dude
I'm
for $700 a
expecting
month.
great things from
Oh. Is he is like an older dude? Is he gonna die soon?
Nope.
Damn.
It was actually like a young family in
I
their
gathered
like
you all
early
here for a
20s.
very important
Shit,
announcement.
that's a long time
This
to wait.
horrific assault has
Yeah,
taught
my
us
buddy
one
Brian
thing,
actually just
that
kind of
the
watches
threat
it.
of the Garak
Kind of a good deal
has
that I got
by
going.
no means been consigned to history. Fortunately, the crisis was averted.
So capitalism.
But
Yeah, I'm
the
pretty sure
Garak may be
$700 in
planning to
California
strike again.
might pay
You must realize I
for
will not sit back and simply wait for this to
the
happen.
land a house
And
is
so I
on.
declare today, we shall
So
take
actually, here's the
steps
thing:
to
like
the Garak.
Wouldn't be
the
allowed
person I'm
in
renting
the
this house
house.
to is absolutely getting a good deal now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The price of rent has gone up a
You
lot.
don't
I
seem
just
like you're a
haven't raised it
landlord
since.
that's taking advantage of being a landlord.
With the mark of the
I mean, I don't
outsider
care.
has
Like
appeared, and he will awaken
it
an
paid
ancient
itself
power
off.
hidden deep in the island.
Yeah, but you should still
It's
be a landlord.
quadrupled
You're
in
not
value. It
capitalism
was worth
hard
nothing.
enough.
Well, shut the fuck. First off, ZP, shut the fuck up. Don't be telling Yatsu to raise the rent. I'm trying to get in that house. I'm trying to
The
get in
dude,
that
so
house.
here's the biggest thing: the
When
dude
that
was
family
paying
moved.
his bills during COVID when he didn't have to. I'm not going to be a dick about anything.
Doesn't matter. You should be a.
the Garak a significant blow by heroically assaulting their frontline base.
I could capitalism this so much better than Jatsu.
Well, then maybe you should have bought some houses in Green Bay and capitalism.
The worst financial decision I've ever made was being in the 3rd grade in 2008.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just turned to dust.
Just turned to
investing
dust.
money.
So I was actually in the 7th grade in 2008.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Now, I just put all my
Regardless.
money in a mutual fund, baby.
Please, you
Oh, so it's worth nothing now.
No, actually, it's gone
I'm
up.
sorry.
That person who
I don't
invested
think
my
we
money
should
was
see
on the
each other
Forbes top 250 list of investors.
Okay, good for you, buddy.
Oh, he's getting dumped. Poor Zale. Anyway, I guess I was just doing side quests. This entire stream.
How come Brayden gets to do side quests without judgment, but when I play Type 0 and do side quests, you guys
Because the side quests in this game are good.
Yeah, you were doing side quests that you don't like.
You were doing side quests that you didn't like that were also dramatically above your level.
If it's any consolation, ZP, I'm pretty sure they would have ripped into you for doing the main quest too.
Yeah, that's true. Not a lie.
Because it was
I'm
Type
grinding
0.
right now. Are you happy, Dad?
No.
Well then, here's to Zale
I'm not
and
your dad.
Dagran,
and
the new
I'm-
knights in training.
Yes, you are.
Cheers!
Anyway, I like this
He
game.
did not adopt you.
Hey, you know,
I believe it's finally happened.
yeah.
You're on the road to
This is a
becoming
good
knights.
game.
I'm proud
I like this
you
game.
wouldn't believe.
What are you proud of? You didn't do anything.
You're joking. Without me fighting by their side, they'd never have made it this far.
Can we not enjoy a friendly drink today, without all the usual bickering?
So, I guess it's all at war with the Gorek then. Looks like we'll all get a chance to show our stuff.
Exactly. Zale and I may have been picked first, but you've all been made official retainers in Count Arganon's court. The dream is for all of us to be knights. I won't stop working towards that.
I can just see the look on Sir Hoity-Toity's face when he finds out we're knights.
Zale, what's wrong? This is supposed
Oh yeah,
to
for
be
the record,
good.
no one should feel bad about not owning property in Wisconsin.
Are you feeling disheartened?
It's not a
because
place
you're
most
unable
people
to
want.
see Lady Callista?
Don't be down in
Let's
the
be clear.
dumps.
What if they want to see the
Change our mind from one
footboard?
second to the next.
Indeed. Never has a truer word been spoken.
I'm legitimately pretty certain that the only reason why that place still has any property value at all is because Oshkosh Truck exists nearby there, and they just pump out military vehicles all the time.
I just assume that Green Bay is entirely sustained by 3 Packers fans.
There's way more than 3 Packers fans.
Oh, Packers! Woo! Packers win the Super Bowl! Go Packers! That's from the Giant Spider Invasion episode of MST3K. It's a classic if you just want to see the greasiest people to come out of the Midwest. Alright. That'll be it for me with this game. We can keep talking if you'd like.
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm kind of tired. So
Yeah,
I
you
think
should
I
go to
might
bed
dip
if you
out.
feel like going to bed.
ZP.
Yeah.
What
One
are
Life
you
Say was part of
doing?
the Idle Bourgeois.
Bourgeois.
What
yeah.
are you doing this weekend on Saturday?
Why?
Because I would like to play Total War Warhammer 3 in some form of campaign mode, possibly as a collaborative stream.
Okay, I have to check my schedule. I'm waiting to see if someone asks me to do something on Saturday. If I'm available, I'll let you know by probably Thursday,
Excellent.
at the very least.